Want to know how to run extra fast, or what the absolute best way to get belly is? Here are 387 super secret Blox fruits things you probably didn't know. Don't make the same mistakes I did. I never stored any of my fruits in the beginning because they were so cheap and easy to obtain. But when I reached the 3rd sea, I still never stored any of my fruits until one player killed me when I had leopard in my hand. I ended up losing that fruit, but since that day I always store my fruits no matter if it's a kilo or a Buddha. This is one of the most stupid mistakes players make. It's leaving a game with items, and I'm not talking about swords or guns that stay once you join back. I'm talking about fruits, keys, and any other items that disappear once you leave the game. That's another reason why you should always store your fruits. You probably already know that combat fighting style is the style you get when you first join the game, and what you should never do is stick to it. Literally any other fighting style is better than combat. For example, you can get a dark step for relatively cheap as a beginner, which is far better than combat. The only reason why people decide to stick to combat is because once you switch it for another fighting style, you can never retrieve it. So it's a flex to still have a combat and be at max level. But believe me, not switching your fighting style will slow down your leveling up process. There are some pretty useless items in Blox fruits, such as Usopp's hat or barriers. But did you know that guns are literally useless too? There is absolutely no gun that will win in a fight against a solid fruit. So yeah, just stay away from guns and don't pretend to be Usopp from One Piece. I bet you did know that you can lie down in the chair in Blox fruits. In order to do so, you'll need a god human C move. Just press C while standing really close to a chair, let off, and voila! That will actually become your regular sitting. Just make sure not to fall asleep. Did you know that there's a hidden key in Blox fruits? This key is a rare drop obtained by either killing the awakened Ice Admiral or killing one of the 2 NPCs at the Ice Castle, but the chances of them dropping it are really low. 2% low to be exact. The hidden key is used to obtain the Rengoku sword and then a samurai title by equipping it. You definitely didn't know about this one. If you hold Dragon Breath Z move while entering a raid, you will get teleported way far from the raid area once you enter it. Is this a glitch or a secret made on purpose? The one thing I really love about Dragon Breath is the Dragonborn title you get once you buy it. I want to know why this ability is so underrated and why no one is talking about it. Rubber's slingshot ability literally transforms you into Spider-Man. It allows you to hook onto buildings and pull up to them, which makes it perfect for when you're being chased by a player that's way stronger than you, since with this you can easily escape him. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to get out of there as quickly as you can and you're on low HP, just use Venom. The lower your health is, the faster Venom will be. I also love how Venom's Noxia shot skill auto aims to the nearest enemy. Only 1% knew this one. Many of you already know about the secret room located right below the cafe, but not everyone knows its name. When you enter the room, you'll see a whiteboard. Look behind it and you'll see that it says King Toad's house. A long time ago, you could find pretty valuable loot in it. We're talking diamonds and gold. Take a look at that briefcase on the floor. It used to be full of cash. I know I'm not the only one who tried to escape the raid at least once. Why? Because you can still collect some bounty without risking your life. First locate the nearest island and then shine that flight to get there. It may take you a while, but it's worth it. Actually, it's not. But it feels good to know that you can do that. Even the swan ship looks more appealing than this boat. Everything about it is weird, but I'll still show you the way to acquire it. You'll have to be at the cafe, run out, and climb on top of the factory. Now, listen carefully. At one of those windows, there will be an NPC that can sell you this boat. I won't tell you his exact location though. Go find it yourself. The goofy boat costs 1,500 fragments, and it's super slow. So why would developers make that bad boat? Well, it's actually not so bad, and even though it looks like a 3-year-old kid's sketch, it has 5,000 horsepower, making it one of the most durable boats in the game. Also, it's not called a goofy boat. Its real name is the flower boat. Blox fruits had to change the look of the original bosses because they almost got the game deleted. If you're wondering why bosses don't look like the ones in the One Piece anime, well, they used to look almost the same. Due to copyright, developers were obligated to change their looks. Gameplay would have been much better if we still had the real One Piece characters, but better be safe than sorry. Back in 2019, new players couldn't even get the boat because experienced players used to kill them as soon as they spawned. Fortunately, Blox Fruits developers realized that this was a huge problem since they couldn't attract any new players to the game. Nowadays, you must reach level 20 to fight with other players, so not only they fixed the problem of spawn killing, but also gave new players a chance to do some quests and see if they like the game. We all know that the One Piece fruits are sphere shaped, so then why are the fruits in the game shaped like a square? The reason for this is actually the same as the bosses. If you played Blox Fruits back when it was released, you know that the fruits used to be sphere shaped. One Piece once again thought they were too similar and almost got the game deleted for a second time. Developers had to change the shape of the fruits in order to keep the game alive. It was definitely worth it. If you've ever gotten falsely banned, you know how annoying it is. The old banning system worked too well. It banned players that used any type of cheat or did anything that's punishable with a ban, but it also used to falsely ban players that did nothing wrong. Blox Fruits realized this when thousands of players started flooding the game's Discord server with complaints. Because of this, developers built a new system that permabans only players who committed serious violations. And players that committed less serious violations now get significantly less severe punishment. Even a noob can bust this myth because all you need is a Kilo fruit. The myth says that if you use Kilo's Z move, you will be able to hover over the sea and not die. And what? This one's actually true. This myth says that if you get frozen by the ice fruit, you can simply teleport out using portal. Wait, what? That actually worked. Well, good to know that freezing someone is useless if they have a portal. So some players are saying that they walked on lava using Buddha and somehow survived. Honestly, I don't really believe this one, but let's give it a try. Yeah, as I expected, you'll lose your health, but in a weird way, because for a second you stop losing health and then you continue losing it. This seems to be some sort of bug, but that myth is busted. There's a myth saying you roll better fruits at nighttime than daytime. So now it's daytime and let's see what we roll. Okay, that wasn't great, but not too bad either. Now we have to wait for nighttime, and while we're waiting, I'll go try and make some friends. Alright, it's nighttime and I didn't make any friends. But let's see if we roll a better fruit. Wait a second, this myth is completely false. If you don't have enough Robux to buy a speedboat, and you don't have any friends that can give you some, don't worry because you can just make your regular boat slightly faster with the help of an auto clicker. Just activate the auto clicker and let it spam while you're riding a boat. This will speed you up a little bit, and I guess it's better than nothing. I bet you didn't know that you can get into the awakening room through the cafe. Once you're in the cafe, head downstairs and stand in the right corner, the one across the frog room. You'll need Buddha for this one. Once you're in that corner, flash step through the wall and shift into Buddha. Now find your way to the awakening room and simply flash step inside. The menu will pop up if you try to awaken your fruit, but the game will just say you cannot talk to this NPC. Combining two fruits and Blox Fruits is usually impossible, but there's a glitch that allows you to combine Buddha and Falcon. First equip Falcon, and then simply equip Buddha. Once you transform into the Buddha, you'll keep Falcon's wings and more importantly, its ability to jump extremely high. When you combine Falcon's jump with Buddha's size, you'll be able to jump way higher. I'm sure some of you already know about this one. It's pretty famous. You can glitch your sword to be 10 times bigger than your character. While you're untransforming from Buddha, quickly equip your sword and just take a look at how big it is. It is useful as you can hit much larger while still being a small target. It gives you the normal hitbox of a Buddha user. However, it's not the best idea to use this on public servers. Prank your friends who are new to the game by pretending to be an NPC. This one won't work on experienced players, but if you make your outfit look like one of these monkey NPCs, new players might get confused when they can't kill you easily. Just be careful since your name tag will still be visible. If somebody gets suspicious, kill them quickly. This next prank could get you banned, so be careful. Challenge your friend to a dance competition, and then once it's your turn, start doing this. To do this, you must first equip a katana, then open the inventory and click the katana and hold the Z skill, and then release the skill and click the unequip button super fast. Doing this will result in some suspicious behaviors. One of the oldest tricks in the book is super easy to do. When your friend is grinding, just follow them around. Once they get an enemy down to low HP, use your best weapon to one-shot it, stealing their kill. Try using this weird boat glitch to dunk your friends into the water. If your friend is AFK in their boat, try pushing it out from under them. Sometimes the boat will move, but the player will stay completely still. This causes them to fall into the water, and when they get back to their computer, they'll be in for a splashy surprise. Most of you didn't know that Magma used to have a flying move. It was the same thing as controllable light fly, but way slower. Still, many players used it back in the day, especially to travel to other islands or escape from enemies. As you flew with this ability, you used to leave a trail of magma underneath your feet, which looked pretty cool. However, this was removed when Magma V2 came into the game. No matter how new the game is to you, you obviously know that you can't go in the second sea if you're still in the first sea, nor in the third sea if you're still in the second sea, or first. But back in 2021, when the third sea was added, players found a glitch that let you get in the third sea without a needed level. All you had to do is travel to this one location that was in the third sea from the second sea, exit the game, and join the friend's game that was in the third sea. And there you go. Now you're officially but unofficially in the third sea. How cool is that? YouTubers are happy that this one changed. We all know that when you want to buy a fruit using Belly, you have to wait for it to be in stock. But back in the day, you had to wait for it to be in stock even if you were buying it with Robux. This made it super difficult difficult for players to get all the fruits they needed. I'm glad they changed this one. If you're a new player, you definitely don't know who Santa Claus was. Santa Claus was an NPC that was added to the game every Christmas. He used to sell limited time accessories and a secret boat that you also didn't know existed. Obviously, the boat was a literal sleigh, and it's one of the rarest items to have in Blox Fruits. Along with him, the new currency was added too, candies. Each time you killed an NPC, you'd get candies, which you would later use to purchase items from Santa Claus. The first item you could buy from him was the elf hat, a hat that didn't have any special use. And the second item was Santa's hat, which was basically the same thing. And the third item was the bow. The first time Santa Claus appeared in the game was in the first Christmas event, update 13 to be more precise, but he was removed in the very next update. But he was added again in update 17, but removed once again in the next update. Drop a like if you'd like to meet Santa Claus. I bet most of you didn't know that Rip Indra isn't actually the founder of Blox Fruits. People just think he is because he appears in the game as a boss and NPC, but he's actually a co-creator. The guy who founded Blox Fruits is called MyGame43, the same guy that founded Elemental Battlegrounds. I mean, he's still a co-creator, but he's the one that founded the game. And did you know that the first guy to ever join Blox Fruits as a player and buy Darkblade is the founder of Grand Piece, which is a game similar to Blox Fruits since it's based on One Piece just like Blox Fruits is. This was confirmed by Rip Indra through a tweet. Did you know that each time you trade with someone in Blox Fruits, that trade is recorded in the game's official Discord? Because of this, we now know that the first trade ever was made in September 2021. Legends say that the first island to be made in Blox Fruits was originally huge. Developers had to resize it because the new players didn't know what to do or where to go. The map was literally so big that some players didn't even know that seas existed. I bet you didn't know Rip Indra once trolled the whole community by posting a picture in Gear 4 before it was even out. He did this on April 1st and the whole community launched the game expecting to see Gear 4, only to be absolutely devastated. A long time ago, maxing out your stats was much easier and quicker. Stats used to increase as you're using them and not by leveling up. I wish they would bring this back. Comment down below if you agree. The first player that reached the 3rd sea in the game was a player called Noob05062, and yet this guy calls himself a noob. Of course, that's if we exclude all the admins, which I think is fair. This one might be one of the funniest bugs in the game, but it was unfortunately patched. Back in the day, you were able to board NPCs and bosses onto the marine boat and drive around. This was great for me because I could just pretend like I had friends. The max bounty a pirate can have in game is 30 million, which is a huge number, but the chances of finding and killing someone with such a high bounty are pretty low. That's why it's easier to focus on collecting bounty from lower level players. It'll take you an hour to earn about 300,000. The only downside is that you'll make new enemies. If you head over to the haunted castle and climb on top of it, you'll find 3 diamond chests. That's an easy 30,000. And the best thing is that you can loot it again just by server hopping. Here's another form of server hopping, but this one pays a lot. We all get way too excited to kill the boss, but feel devastated when we find out he's not there. Luckily, server hopping exists, so just hop on another server where you'll probably find that boss and keep repeating. I don't think there's an easier way to get $500,000 than to kill a sea beast. All you need to do is get a nice ship, preferably one with high HP, and just drive far from any island. Now you'll have to spend some time circling around or simply AFKing because it'll take a moment for the sea beast to spawn. But once it spawns, use any ability you have to kill it and you'll get rewarded with about 500,000. Keep in mind, the quicker you kill it, the more money you get. And not only that, but every next sea beast you kill will bring you more bellies. This one is very important, and a lot of new players don't know about it. If you're new to the game, get yourself an elemental fruit. Elemental fruits allow you to farm NPCs without them being able to hit you, but you must be at least 1 level higher than them. Once you have those 2, just go out and farm NPCs, preferably bosses. If you wonder what your primary goal in the first sea should be, I suggest you get a light fruit. It's arguably the best fruit for grinding in the first sea. It's an elemental fruit. It has area of effect moves, and on top of that, it allows you to quickly get to your destination. You may think that you should get to the higher level islands as quickly as possible, but that's not right. That should be your goal, but it doesn't mean you have to force it just to satisfy your ego. Stick to the islands in your level range, as it's always better to complete the same tasks more times with ease than to take far more difficult tasks and give your soul into completing it and getting killed in the end. It'll just slow you down. For some reason, many new players are still sleeping on bosses. I don't know if they're scared to fight them, but boss fights reward you with a lot of XP. Beating a boss will get you a huge chunk of experience, and you might even get a new fruit. Blox Fruit's map is pretty large, and new players tend to have a hard time finding the next locations they should visit. But that's because they don't listen to the compass. Compass is literally your best friend in Blox Fruits, and yet I often see players completely forgetting about it. You can find your compass on the left side of your screen, and it basically tells you where the next NPC you should visit is located, or where your next quest is. All you need to do is hop in a boat and travel in the direction the red needle is pointing towards. New players, listen up. If you have a fruit equipped and you eat another one, you will end up losing the fruit you had previously equipped. It's impossible to retrieve it, and the only way to get an infinite amount of fruit is to buy a permanent fruit add-on. I didn't know this, and I ended up losing a fruit when I was a newbie, which cost me some time. This next one is a mistake I see a lot of people making: not setting your spawn point. I know you hate dying on the island where you're grinding, and then getting respawned at a whole other island that's miles away from your task. Because of this, setting your spawn point is something you should always keep doing because it saves you so much time. It instantly spawns you exactly where you need to be, so you won't have to travel to that place anymore. I often see new players trying to level up by grinding at the same island. There are cases where players literally get from level 10 to level 200 just by grinding on the jungle island, and this is something you should definitely stay away from. Not only is it a rookie mistake, but players actually think they will level up faster because it's easier to kill enemies, and they can get more kills in a shorter time. Just because it's way harder to kill the enemies at the same level as you doesn't mean you will level up slower, and in fact you'll actually level up much quicker. Observation is an ability that lets you dodge incoming attacks from enemies, see enemies through solid surfaces or anywhere in range, see them from a distance, and even see how much health and energy they have. Back in the day, observation used to look completely different, and I think it looks a bit more realistic in the old version. We all know that Buddha today is considered to be overpowered. It's the best grinding fruit in the game, and if you want to reach max level, you must use it. But did you know back in the day, Buddha was even more OP, and there was a little speed glitch you could do with it. Today, when you use Buddha's transformation, your speed increases by only 15%, but you probably didn't know unless you're OG, that back in the day, Buddha's transformation used to increase your speed by 60%. I think that old Buddha would shame Light in a race. If you used it today, no enemy would be able to land a hit on you. I think I now know why it was nerfed. I bet you didn't know that water texture back in the day was different. It was more realistic, much more blue, and more still. Nowadays we have that wavy texture, which definitely suits the game better. But I'm sure there are OG players that miss the old one. Me personally, I love the fact they updated the water. It doesn't matter if you're a new or OG player. In both cases, I know you love the sky jump ability. Today with the sky jump ability, you will get 10 jumps. But this was before when the ability was first added to the game, when the number of jumps was unlimited. This literally meant you could jump as high as you can in the sky, as long as you had enough energy to do so. Imagine being able to get to Sky Islands just by jumping. It's obvious why they removed this from the game. Literally too overpowered. The next one is something new players wish for. There was a glitch that was so OP, it allowed you to combine 2 fruits at the same time. You first had to use the transformation fruit, most of the players used leopard, and then sit on a chair. Sitting on a chair after you transform was a must. Then just get another fruit from a dealer, eat it, and boom! Now you have the speed and health of a leopard, and any other abilities from any other fruit. There's one fruit in Blox Fruits that was removed, but the chances you have it are big. I'm talking about Gum Gum Fruit, or should I say Rubber Fruit. Yeah, back in the day, Rubber Fruit used to be called Gum Gum. The moves basically remain the same, and I assume the name was changed due to copyrights, because One Piece also had a similar name fruit. Many of you like the design of a sea beast, but let me know what you think about the design of the old sea beast. Just take a look at it. Which one looks better to you? Comment down below. Only the most OG Blox Fruits players remember this one. Did you know that back in the day when fruits were ball shaped, Spring Fruit was the only one that wasn't shaped like a ball? It looked like an actual spring, which looked cool if you ask me. If you got yourself a VIP server just so you could farm some fruits, there's one thing you should know. Specifically on a VIP server, only 2 devil fruits will spawn in the first 2 hours and then they stop spawning. So you'll have to reset the game if you want some more to spawn. So you know how many games have jetpacks? Well, Blox Fruits has one too. If you equip the now removed Kilo Fruit and then use its F ability, you will be able to go on forever into the sky. This literally doesn't stop. Well, I guess it does, because since update 20, Kilo doesn't exist anymore. Did you know that lava doesn't melt the fruit? We all know that lava can kill you, but if you drop a physical fruit into lava, it won't melt. So next time you're worrying you're accidentally gonna drop your fruit while walking near lava, don't worry. The only thing you should worry about is to not drop yourself into lava. But if you have magma fruit, why worry? How many times did I say worry? I'm sure none of you have ever tested this one. You know how Doe's F ability keeps you safe from water damage? Well, there's something it doesn't protect you from, and that's fall damage. You will still take fall damage when transformed into a donut, but don't worry, it's not fatal. With my luck though, I transformed back into a normal character a millisecond before hitting the ground. Since I don't have any friends I can ride with on Flamingo, I'll spawn my besto friendo. You can do the same or just use your real friend if you're that lucky. Then spawn a flamingo with a love fruit while you're near them in order to pick them up, and then there you go. You're swimming through the air with your friend. This also works on NPCs. I do this every time I'm bored in this game. Eat the portal fruit and then activate the parallel escape move while standing still. After the move ends, you can enjoy being completely invisible to all the other players. Now you can attack your friends and they won't know what's going on. It'll be hilarious, trust me. This will be the easiest loot of your life if you have Shining Flight. Just climb on top of the haunted castle and there you will find 3 chests. Easy 30k. I feel sorry for you if you don't have Shining Flight yet. It truly is one of the most useful moves. Most of you already know about the besto friendo, but what if you don't have any friends? You can still use it. Just activate the move and in a blink of an eye you will get a friend that will protect you at all costs. He's a better friend than any of my real friends. Oh yeah, I don't have any of those. Your besto friendo took his name too seriously. He was even able to level up your sword or your gun. Only 3 friends are randomly selected for this role per server, and since the 25th of February, besto friendos no longer deals damage to the allies. This gives players an advantage because they don't have to think about hurting their allies. One of the first things that was changed in 2023 was the speed of walking using control. From now on, it's actually the same for everyone. Blox Fruit's developers say that this is only due to aesthetic purposes, and running speed still remains unchanged to this day. Did you know you can use abilities while eating fruit? Well, you could've. The fruit animation looked pretty cool when combined with an ability, but we assume Blox Fruit's developers removed this because it was considered a bug. Who knows? Before releasing the 1v1 PvP system, there were no rules when it came to fighting. The 1v1 PvP system allows you to kill or die to the same player up to 3 times every 3 days. For example, if you kill the same player twice and he kills you once, you won't earn any bounty from each other until 3 days have passed because the score will be 3 out of 3. Luckily, you can switch your enemies every day since there are over 600,000 active users every single day. If you have one special OP you hate, then you'll hate this update more than you hate him. Buddha's former overpowerment had even more potential. There was the speed glitch everyone with Buddha exploited, and it was too fun. All you had to do was transform into Buddha, hold A or D, and switch on a fighting style. You would instantly become so fast that literally nothing was faster than you. And remember back in the days, Buddha gave you a 60% speed boost. Now imagine how fast you were able to zoom around the map. Even today, people find ways to do this, but they immediately get patched. Today, there are glitches that can cause a whole server to crash, but we still don't know how to do them properly and crash the entire server. And even if we know, we wouldn't do it, cause why ruin all the fun? But back in the day, there was this promising server crashing glitch that worked every time you tried it. All you had to do was use the control area, hold down Gamma Rush, and switch your fruit. There you go, you literally destroyed the whole server in seconds. I wonder if this still works. There is literally no way you ever experience this unless you're an OG player. You see, back in the days, Blox Fruit's admins weren't so strict, and neither were their bosses. Because of this, admins often used to troll servers by spotting dragons with strange abilities, making it rain devil fruits, summoning deadly bosses out of nowhere, and changing the entire map to Brazil colors. OGs know why it's Brazil. Poneglyphs. If you didn't flinch when I said this, you're probably a new player. Poneglyphs were large stones with some sort of weird carved letters, and they were added to the game somewhere from update 10 to update 12. Literally big cube-shaped rocks with weird symbols, and they weren't in the game long because they were removed in update 13. No one really knows why they were added, nor why they were removed, but rumors spread thinking that this was a hint about an awakening for the rubber fruit, although most players think they were just Easter eggs because of the gamer robot symbol on them. However, we still don't have an awakening for the rubber fruit, so it was probably just an Easter egg. We all know that you can use a roller donut to roll on the water and not take any damage, but there's a myth saying that if you fall from a huge height into the water with a roller donut, you'll actually take damage. Why is this true? It makes no sense. You probably didn't know about a rumor saying you can challenge Rip Indra to a rematch if you find his island in the second sea. Before you set sail to find him, just know that it's extremely hard to find him, but also to beat him. Well, impossible to be more precise. Let's see if we can find the island. And wait, there he is. That's Rip Indra. Now I can start a rematch and get myself killed. Someone told me in the comments that if you spawn a control area and then use Control's X move while standing near the area's wall, the control area will fart. Let's test it out. What? That's a stinky myth and it's true. If you have a leopard fruit, you'll definitely want to test this one. After you transition into leopard, the fruits you're holding are supposed to be in your pockets. I doubt this one will work because honestly, I don't see any pockets here. But let's see. What? How is that possible? I guess this leopard has some sort of hidden pockets because this myth is true. Most players don't know that with luck, loves flamingo ride ability, you're able to pick up NPCs and move them around the server. It's not really a useful glitch, but it's definitely fun. One thing you can do with this glitch is prank new players by picking up high level NPCs and transporting them over to lower level islands. An NPC at this level will end up killing every new player that stands in its path. This one is an absolute game changer. If you need a quick way to get out of a heated situation, remember this: jump plus right click and dash. This glitch will send you flying into the sky and give you enough time and space to escape the fight. Just make sure you get some practice before trying it out in a fight. If you're a new player, this glitch will completely transform the way you play. I'm talking about the good old wall glitch that allows you to go through any wall just by standing in front of it and using flash step. You may have to play around with the camera angle until you get some practice, but it's really simple, and you can also use any teleportation moves like Dark F and so on. Subscribe if you already knew this one. This one is for a little more experienced glitch exploiters. It's the cursed ship glitch. You'll need to go to the spot where the ship stewards are. Once you're there, use the Rengoku Z move or any other rush move next to the ship stewards while they're barely moving. You'll wind up right under the floor. Everyone knows that Buddha is the most overpowered fruit in the game, but it's not just helpful for grinding or killing bosses, you can use it to destroy your friends too. I'm not exactly sure why you would want to be so cruel, but this will definitely be a prank your friend won't forget. For a more friendly prank, try hiding a fruit in plain sight. Ice fruit is almost the exact same color as this raid portal, so if you drop one inside the portal, it's almost invisible. Tell your friend that you've hidden a fruit somewhere in the room, and watch as they pace around furiously, unable to find it at all. Pro Blox Fruits players love to flex their bounty on others, so try ruining your friend's day by taking away their bounty. When they're busy grinding, jump them when they least expect it. They'll have no idea how to react, and you'll probably win the fight. Just make sure to be careful who you do this to. Some friends might not be so forgiving. This next one only works if you have Electric Claw at 250 plus mastery. If you do, hold Electric Claw X on your friend, face the air, and then release. This will toss your friend sky high. Did you know that there are a few different ways to get a free Dark Blade? Don't get me wrong, they're not easy, but free is free. The first way is to get a well-known Brazil cube. This one isn't easy since the only way to get it is by finding where the admin dropped it. And on top of that, they drop it on a random server every once in a while. Luckily, the second way is easier, but it takes a lot of time and the chances of getting Dark Blade are even lower. Just go around and beg someone to give it to you. Rich friends, admins, or YouTubers. But if they say no, respect that and don't get on their nerves. The third way to get Dark Blade is to trade for it, but you can only do this if you got plenty of legendary fruit since we all know how valuable Dark Blade is. And the fourth way is the best but probably most difficult way. You have to kill Mihawk, a raid boss from one of the events, but actually it's just Rip Injure disguised as him. He's carrying a much stronger version of Dark Blade, and if you manage to kill him, there are low chances he will drop his sword. Killing him is almost impossible, first because he's almost never online, and second because even when he is online, the chances of him becoming Mihawk are close to zero. So are your chances of getting Dark Blade. I bet most of you didn't know that Full Body Phoenix is actually single-eyed. If you look closer, you'll see he has an eye on the left side of his head, but there's actually nothing on the right side. Did you know that Ice Admiral becomes impossible to kill if you get in his residence without destroying the door? Once you destroy the door that leads to the room where Ice Admiral resides, you'll be able to fight him. But if you glitch into that room using Flash Step, you won't be able to damage him. But trust me, he's definitely going to kill you. Since developers know that people glitch into the factory, they had to make a shield around the core in order to prevent people from destroying it out of the raid. So anytime you glitch into the factory while the raid isn't going on, you won't be able to damage its core, because the shield won't disappear. Most people already know that Paw is super underrated, but the most underrated thing about it is its projectile range. It's so good that you can reach the enemy standing at the other side of the island. A slight buff and it would be able to reach literally another island. The Frozen Island is probably the best way to farm Belly in the first sea. Once you get there, start a quest with Yeti. Kill him, and as you're waiting for him to respawn, complete other quests on the island. This will get you around $600,000 per hour. Vice Admiral is the boss that spawns on Marine Fortress, and each time you kill him, you'll get 15,000. Once you kill him, just server hop and repeat it, and in 1 hour, you'll make well over 300,000. After you're done with killing Vice Admiral, take a walk through the island in order to collect the chest since there's a few thousand just sitting around. And don't forget about the golden one on top of the fortress. Did you know that there's a way you can get Dark Blade you for free? All you need to do is kill an admin, and there's a low chance that he will drop you a dark blade. Now, there are a few problems with this. First, the chances of the admin being in your server are extremely low, and even if you encounter him, the second problem would be to kill him. Can you imagine how OP admins are? You would need quite some skills, fruits, and luck to kill an admin, and even then, the dark blade is still not guaranteed. You probably made some mistakes when starting your Blox Fruits career, so once it's a good time, you should do a stat reset to adapt them to your current skills. You obviously don't want to have a high stat level for guns. So here's a code for stat reset. I don't even know why someone would use a gun in Blox Fruits, but here we are. However, you should never ever use a gun. Don't talk to me about the reason why. There's just an unwritten rule that you should always stick to the one style of grinding, but never to guns. Once you reach level 190, go over to Prison Island and simply server hop the bosses. They're high level and they give a lot of XP, so Prison Island might be your shortcut to the second sea, if you get the light fruit. If you're a new player, this one is definitely going to help you out. One thing you must do in the first sea is get an aura. It's cheap, easily obtainable, and useful, so it's recommended that most people get it as early as they can. If you're a completely new player without any knowledge in Blox Fruits, I recommend you do some research before buying your first fruit. I know that once you open the fruit dealer menu for the first time, you'll feel like you absolutely have to buy a fruit, and you'll probably spend your money on a bad and useless fruit. Instead of doing this, do some research and wait for a good fruit. This will speed up your leveling process so much. Many people used to choose a melee instead of a fruit in the first sea, which is reasonable, but it's still a mistake. Instead of melee, you should get yourself an elemental fruit, which is way better. With an elemental fruit, you will be able to dodge an enemy's attack if you surpass their level, and I think that's a great advantage for new players. The biggest mistake you can make is when just getting to the second sea, immediately heading over to start a raid. I understand you can't wait to get in a raid, but believe me, when you just get to the second sea from the first sea, raids are going to be way more difficult than you expect, and you probably won't make it. Continue to grind for some time before starting a raid. This way you'll be absolutely sure to win your first raid. Also, don't awaken useless fruits. Just awaken only fruits you're sure you'll be able to use in the future. If you've got a bit of spare Robux, it would be a good idea to buy some add-ons. Some of the best add-ons you can buy in Blox Fruits are definitely double money and double mastery, but you have to be careful when buying add-ons, because there's some bad ones I see people buying, such as fast boats, double drop chance, and even dark blade. Alright, dark blade isn't that bad if you really want it, and I can't tell you what to spend your money on. That's just my advice. If you completed the quest I'm about to tell you, you're lucky, my friend. Oh, you're not my friend. I don't have any friends. Anyways, in early 2022, players found a mistake developers made, and a really big one. One of the developers added an extra 0, and now Amazon Area 2 quest giver NPC gave players 645 million XP instead of 64.5 million, which was the amount he was supposed to. Just imagine how easy it was to reach max level by exploiting this. Unfortunately, it was patched shortly after being discovered. I wonder how many players are only at max level because of this. Back in July of 2019, a player called Beckboy found one of the craziest glitches ever. He somehow accidentally pressed C while having a chop fruit equipped, then switched it to a sword, and he started flying. But not like the usual flying glitches. This one was actually controllable, and it was way faster and a better way of transportation than light fruit. Anyone who got caught using this glitch was banned, so it's definitely a good thing they patched it. Over a year ago, Blox Fruits players found one of the most powerful glitches in the game, and safe to say it had to be patched as soon as possible. You were literally able to get any item in the entire game for completely free. You just needed enough money to buy that item, and all you had to do is reset your character right before you click buy. Once you respawned, you'd have the same amount of money, but also the new item. This even worked on fighting styles, and let players get way too overpowered without paying a penny. Have you been playing long enough to remember this? There's no way you know what a Gum Bazooka is. Gum Bazooka was the bazooka's X move, but what was interesting about it is that a glitch allowed you to be faster than anything. You had to press X and then quickly talk to the fruit dealer and equip an ice fruit. With this glitch, you were able to travel from island to island in seconds. How would you use this glitch? Let me know in the comments below. For update 20, Blox Fruits developers really said let's rework everything, which is why they changed most, if not all, swords in this update. I'm not talking about only the design, design, but also their skill sets as well as animations that play out for each skill. They look way better now and will have your character looking like a pro. So try those out with the swords you have laying around. Even if you thought they weren't that good, you might like them now, who knows? Another great addition is a brand new island that has been added to the 3rd sea. It's called Tiki Outpost and it's filled with a bunch of new NPCs, 5 to be more precise. You can grind on it only if you're above level 2450. There are 4 enemies on this island called Isle Outlaw, Island Boy, Isle Champion, and Sun-Kissed Warriors. It's basically the final island in the whole game. Stick to the end of the video to find out what you can do in it. You might think, oh, they only added 1 new island, but you probably didn't know they reworked some of the old islands as well. The majority of these island reworks have been done for the islands in the 1st and 2nd sea, with their overall quality now being much better, which is to make sure that new players enjoy the game even more than before. Even though some of the changes didn't appear yet, it's expected that the majority of them will become visible later in the coming months. We all know that the level cap before this update was 2450. In fact, it stayed the same for almost an entire year since update 17.3.5 came out. But in update 20, it was increased by 100. So now the current level cap is 2550. Imagine being the first one to reach that level. Everyone knows there's not really a way to make your boat faster, except there actually is. This is something no one knows about. A turbo boat. You'll need a God-Human sea move for this one. Get a boat and stand close to a sea, then press C. Sit in the boat and just let off C. Your boat will literally get launched. I bet you didn't know this one. If you and your friend are flying through the sky using venom and light, you can actually collide with each other. You probably didn't know that there's a sword that can be awakened just like fruits can be. I'm talking about Saber Sword. All you have to do is kill someone that's the same level and same bounty as you, and you will be able to awaken it. Pretty cool. Also, the only way to get a Saber Sword is by doing the Saber Expert puzzle. Most of you still don't know that there's a way to stand on lava without any protection or abilities, and somehow not die? This sounds too good to be true, but it's kind of useless. If you teleport using a portal directly on lava, you will be able to stand on it and not take any damage. But that's only true under one condition. You can't move, which is why I said it's useless. But something even weirder is that if you do the same but on water, you will take damage and eventually die. Not everyone knows about the electro fighting style you can learn from the mad scientist. He's located somewhere in the Skylands, but if you think I'm gonna be so nice and tell you where he is, haha, go find him yourself. In Blox Fruits, there are 2 islands it's impossible to stay alive on. One of them is hidden and its only purpose is to kill you. Anywhere you stand on it will quickly take away your whole HP. No matter who you are, you can't survive this. The second island is a little bit more human, however you still won't survive it. I'll show you how to find it. Go to the graveyard and then look at the boat from its right side. Get closer to the boat's bow and just travel forward. It will take some time, but meeting Rip Injure will be worth it. Or not. However, chances of you killing him are equal to 0 because his health constantly restores and you have to be super quick and super strong. Even if you somehow do kill him, unfortunately you won't get a big bounty. There's an NPC called Aaron that will let you watch the whole Rip Injure's fight. You can find her at the Castle of the Sea. What's even more interesting is that after you reset the fight, you'll be stuck in Aaron's POV. That's one way to become an NPC. This could save you if you're just stuck on the open sea without a boat. Activate Shark V4 and then combine it with Shining Flight. You can fly in the water. This is completely useless because who would use Shining Flight to swim? But when you think about it, this would be a great way to prank your friends in a boat race. When you perform your last resort, you get a damage boost for 6.5 seconds and the buff increases the closer you are to death, so it truly is a last resort. Back in 2020, performing last resort used to take your own health. Because of this, players used to avoid it, so Blox Fruits had to do something in order to make it more appealing to the players, so they removed it dealing damage. Have you ever used it? In the last week of 2019, Blox Fruits decided it was time to add some new tracks to the game. I assume that's how the very known sea theme was born. This is always my answer whenever someone asks me what I'm listening to. Before the 8th update, the game was set to take away players' bounty in PvP even if it was his first time starting the game. This made things super difficult for new players. Since then, players only lose bounty in PvP if they've got more than 2.5 million. And the maximum amount of bounty a player can have is 30 million. Making bounty impossible to lose in PvP for players that have less than 2.5 million is a great feature, but is it really worth it if we still lose huge amounts from every lost fight? Blox Fruits took care of that too. Bounty loss from PvP is now based on the enemy's level and bounty, which means you won't lose so much anymore. This is an interesting one. A myth is circling around that if you use God-Human sea move while sitting in a boat, you can actually launch it. Oh, if this one works, it's gonna be what? No way! I can get a boat off the ground. This is a great way to prank noobs. Have you ever seen those rocks Blox coming out of the ground from Race V4? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you have. And there's a myth that those become huge with Buddha. Alright, let's see if this one's true. And whoa, they're huge! Which makes this myth true. One myth says that you keep Gear 2 aura even if you switch the fruit. But honestly, I already know this one's true. So let's test this one that says Gear 2 aura makes you even faster. Let's race against this guy and see if it's true. And wait, we're not any faster. This one was definitely a bust. Buckle up because this one looks crazy. This myth says that you can spawn a Phoenix Ball if you use Phoenix Heal while sitting in a boat. And let's see if it works. Dang, not only does it work, but it's also stackable. It's safe to say that one works. The first and most obvious change you will notice as soon as you join the game is new fruit design. Not only do fruits look different, but they're literally animated, and the graphics look so good. Each fruit obviously has an animation that represents it, and the most interesting ones are definitely Phoenix and Spider Fruit. Phoenix flaps its wings, and the Spider fits into the Halloween vibe. Oh, and Spring Fruit, it bounces. Speaking of new fruits, the biggest change Update 20 brought was definitely two new fruits. The first one is called Mammoth, a beast type fruit that costs 2.7 million belly. It's mythical and its abilities sound pretty interesting. The first ability is called Ancient Cutter, and it turns you into a mammoth covered in a dark aura, then stomps on the ground and sends 3 large slashes. It's similar to Dragon's Transformed X move, through the ground and air. This move can even be used in the air, and it looks pretty interesting. The second move transforms you into the same mammoth, but instead of stomping on the ground, it dashes forward at a high speed, and when you hit an enemy, it launches them upwards, which looks super funny. The third move is similar to the second one, and the only difference is that it doesn't transform you into a mammoth, and when the enemy is hit, they're slammed down. The fourth move transforms you into an armored mammoth, which reduces damage by 50%. It also gives you a different jump and dash animation, along with the ability to deal damage by falling to the ground when airborne. This is definitely the best move. And the fifth move is basically a huge jump similar to Buddha's C move. Also, the longer you hold it, the further you jump. And best of all, you can literally hold it infinitely. The second fruit is called Sound Fruit, a natural type of fruit that costs 1.7 million belly and has been classified as legendary. Sound is a great choice for both grinding and PvP, and all of its abilities are AoE. Its first ability is called Rhapsody Notes, and it shoots out 3 projectile notes on the first use horizontally, 5 on the second use horizontally, and 5 on the third use vertically where the cursor aims at. You'll get used to it as you start using this move, and all of the notes explode once they hit the target, which deals pretty nice damage. The second move is called Fortissimo, and it deals an area of effect damage through a cone-shaped note attack. The third move is called Symphonic Radiance, but I'd call it Disco Ball because it literally spawns a disco ball that fires beams which auto-aim at all nearby enemies at a large range. Good thing I attended all my hip-hop classes. Once it shoots all the beams, the disco ball fires itself to where the cursor is aiming at and explodes on impact. One more thing that makes this move overpowered is that every time a beam hits your enemy, the damage is multiplied by 0.85. The next move shoots 5 small and then 5 large projectiles, which also explode on impact. The larger projectiles will literally spawn a black hole and start sucking in all the nearby enemies while dealing damage for a short time after exploding. And the final move is called Prestissimo. What's going on with these names? Fortissimo, Prestissimo, Sparkissimo? Maybe I should make my own fruit. I'll ask my friends what they think about that. Oh, yeah. Anyways, the Prestissimo move is a flight move that regenerates tempo meter, but stops health and energy generation when it's activated. Overall, this fruit is super good. But beside the fruit changes, there are also a few other minor fruit changes that happened. The first of them is Kilo. Well, was Kilo. Now it's Rocket Fruit. Yep, you heard that. I don't know how Kilo managed to survive 4 years in the game being the worst fruit, but it was finally time to switch it. Kilo's new name is Rocket, and its abilities have completely changed. It's still the cheapest fruit in the game though. The first ability is a rocket that launches from your hand and deals AoE damage and a knockback. The second ability is just an airstrike, and the third ability is some sort of quick jump which also deals AoE damage once you hit the ground. The last move is a flight move which has a cool animation, considering it's from the cheapest fruit. You do a backflip and fly off with an explosive trail. New players definitely won't be complaining about this fruit, but it wasn't the only fruit that got changed. Paw Fruit is now called Pain Fruit, but that's really the only big change, as its abilities are basically the same. Some other fruits got minor changes such as new icons and in-game visuals, but nothing as crazy as Rocket Fruit. Only OG players know about this one. If you drive your boat onto land, it'll cause it to rapidly vibrate. If you touch the boat while it's vibrating, your character will get launched into the sky. You can also do this with the Superhuman Fighting style. You'll need a boat and Superhuman C ability. Hold the C ability and sit in your boat. Release C and direct the boat onto the land. You can also do it with Barrier's X ability using the exact same process. Take notes because this is one of the funniest glitches everyone everyone forgets about. If you use the Dark Dagger Z or X move while sitting in the seat of the boat at the same time, then hitting your friend will sometimes cause them to be able to walk on air. And occasionally when you do this glitch, your friend will follow you as if he's tied to your boat. If you hold the Z move at the same time, as you sit in the passenger seat of a boat, the boat will become attached to the sword, and then you can throw the boat at a player, causing you to teleport to the player with the boat on top of them. This counts as driving, so you may even get some sea beasts to spawn. On top of all of this, if someone's coming at you in a boat, you can use the same moves to sit in another boat or even launch the player across the map. This is probably one of the craziest glitches out there, mostly because you can do it unexpectedly. If you hit your enemies with abilities that cause knockback or ragdoll, you can clip them into objects and walls. Just watch them have a complete breakdown. Now go out there and prank your friends with this one, but also be careful when fighting someone with a high knockback, as they can hit you at a certain angle and cause you to endlessly fly away. I snuck into Don Swan's mansion to look for my friends, then realized I didn't have any. But look what I found! If you enter his mansion and then go through the entrance to Don Swan's room while holding any move, you will be teleported to the Swan Pirates. Sometimes you might even get teleported into an underground location on Hot and Cold Island. You will see a lightly colored block with a tiny platform. Get to the platform and flash step your way inside, where you'll find an NPC. You won't be able to talk to him, however. Another sneaky way to annoy your friend is to copy which fruits they use. Challenge them to help you defeat a difficult boss, wait for them to pick a fruit, and then use the exact same one. At first, they'll think nothing of it, but after a few more times, they'll be suspicious. Do it again, and they're surely going to notice. This one is harmless. Well, that is unless it causes you both to die to the boss. But what if you want to confuse your friends? Try this glitch out that can be found in the second sea. If you walk over beside the cafe, you will see a glitch in the ground where there's a tiny gap. Use your flash step to teleport right through the ground. This will confuse your friend, and you can use it if you ever need a quick getaway. Just be careful not to drown in the water. This next one will make you super rich. Challenge your friend to see who can find more chests. Then make sure they aren't following you, and head over to Sky Island. If you make your way to the temple and go through the secret entrance, you will find billions of chests. Okay, maybe not that many, but you'll definitely beat your friend, and you'll gain infinite money in the process. If you've ever used the portal fruit, you know that it's one of the most useful fruits in the entire game. But it's not only good for teleporting you around, it can be used to prank your friends. If you stand super close to your friend and then activate the portal, your friend will get dragged into it with you. You can use this however you like and as many times as you like. Just be careful, because the more you do this, the grumpier your friend will get. I don't know if you've ever encountered a floating tree in Blox Fruits, but if you want to see how this modeling mistake looks, just head over to the cafe and search for the tree that's not fully in the ground. It looks like it's floating because someone that was in charge of this didn't place it as they should have. Most new players don't know about the Yoshi NPC that you can find on the Upper Sky Island. He sells you Tomio rings for 500k belly, which buffs your fruit damage by 10%. That doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, 10% fruit damage is OP. Buddha is already overpowered, but imagine how even more OP it would become after you get these rings. I bet you didn't know about the Soul Cane sword pros use. I'll show you how to get it. If you go over to the Magma Island and glitch into the left part of the volcano, you'll find an NPC called Living Skeleton. He sells you a Soul Cane sword for 750k belly, and it's considered to be an S tier sword because it's so OP. That's why so many pros use it. I still don't understand why so few people know about Mirage Island. It's a special island that functions apart from all the other islands and is one of the 4 sea events. It can occur randomly anytime you're riding a boat. Once you get on it, everything becomes really dark, and your goal is to find an advanced fruit dealer who has some pretty rare fruits in stock. Besides him, you can also find blue gear for Race Awakening. Ship raid is another way to become super rich, but not with belly. Wait a second, what's better than belly? Fragments, of course. After you complete the ship raid, you can expect to get 100 fragments. What do you think about this one? Most of you think that raids are only used to awaken your fruit, but you forget about the 72,000 you get after completing each raid. It's pretty simple. Just start and complete raids for worthless fruits, and if you have Buddha, that's a huge plus because it'll make your raids 10 times easier. The Kingdom of Rose should be called Belly Island because you can make so much money on it. One more way to get super rich is by completing a factory raid located on this island. It opens every hour and a half, and you've only got 5 minutes to destroy it. Did I mention it has 200,000 HP? It won't be easy, but you can expect to get tens of thousands depending on how much you damage the core. Oh yeah, you're not the only one destroying it, since since this raid involves other players that are destroying the factory too, but try to be the best since whoever deals the most damage will receive a random fruit. How cool is that? Many of you have trouble finding diamond chests, but I'll show you one location where you can find a diamond chest in the first sea. Go to the jungle, which is literally the second island, and find a tree with a green button. Once you press it, head over to the basement of the building where the quest NPC is at. There you will find a diamond chest. After that, just server hop and repeat. I wish I knew this years ago. The first and definitely most interesting thing you can do on Tiki Outpost is craft and enchant items. It's also one of the features added in update 20. It allows you to craft scrolls and enchant your swords by visiting the Dragon Talon Sage NPC, which can be found in the tall temple on the island. To enchant your swords, you need scrolls, and to make one scroll, you need 3 fool's gold and 2 shark tooth. There are 6 kind of scrolls, but at the moment the community has only found recipes for 3 of them: common, rare, and legendary. When you first start crafting scrolls, you can only craft common scrolls. You unlock the ability to craft better ones the more you craft with the previous rarity. Enchanted swords will soon become a must-have. It gives you random bonuses to your weapon, ranging from increased elemental damage or drop rate to getting vampiric, which heals you when you deal damage. But did you know that this update was super focused on seas? We got 6 new sea events including raids. The first one is called Treasure Island. It's one of the smallest islands in the game, and it spawns when players move far away from land. There are multiple versions of the Treasure Island, some of them being completely made of sand, some having only grass and dirt, and there's even a version that has both sand and grass with a tree. The second sea event is called Ghost Ship Raid, a sea event in which a few ships spawn and attack your ship with a cannon. These can only be damaged by AoE attacks, so choose the right fruit. The next new sea event is called Flying Piranhas, and this one is scary. The piranha is a hostile NPC that spawns between 1 to 6 level sea meter. It has wings and can fly outside the water to attack your boat and use electricity based attacks. If you want to kill them, do so with Buddha, because they can get easily damaged with them once. But that's not as scary as the new Terror Shark, which is a level 2000 raid boss. They spawn between sea danger levels 2 to 6. Depending on which danger level you're in, the Terror Shark will be stronger and harder to beat. But don't go past level 5 because Terror Sharks that spawn there are really OP, and you'll need your friends to help. It gives some pretty good rewards though, including up to 25,000 belly, and best of all, leveling you up no matter how high your level is. The next addition is Leviathan, and it's definitely one of the craziest enemies. It's a raid boss that can be found in the Frozen Dimension, and on top of the large building in the Tiki Outpost Island, there's an NPC called the Spy. He provides an origin of the Leviathan, as well as clues to summon it. The last one is called Rough Sea, a randomly spawned sea event that clears surrounding rocks, dims the area inside the sea, and spawns lightning that can damage players and their ships. At the moment, no one knows how we can stay safe from lightning, but hopefully we'll figure it out soon. But even with all these changes, it still feels like something's missing. A fighting style? It's definitely not that, because believe it or not, Blox Fruit's developers also decided to add a new fighting style. It's called Sanguine Art, which is extremely powerful, but really difficult to obtain. In order to get your hands on it, you must be on Tiki Island, which means that it's also the final fighting style in the game. On top of that, you must first get a Leviathan's Heart, which you can only get from the Leviathan Sea event. Then go to the basement of the main castle in Tiki Outpost, talk to Shafi, and give him Leviathan's Heart, 20 Demonic Wisps, 20 Vampire Fangs, and 2 Dark Fragments. Only then you will be able to pay 5 million belly and 5,000 fragments to finally obtain Sanguine Art fighting style. Speaking of how good it is, its Z ability launches you where you're aiming your cursor. If you hit your enemy, it'll unleash bat-like creatures on your enemy that will heal you while they deal damage to them. This may be my favorite one from this fighting style, because besides being great for fighting, it's also good for traveling. It drains your enemy's health, breaks instinct, and even has a slight aim assist. The X ability called Scarlet Tear launches 5 slashes towards the cursor, leaving claw marks on the floor or walls. This ability has great range and even greater combo potential. But get ready to hear the name of this last ability, Devourer of Worlds. It launches a dark red blast at the cursor, and when it hits your enemy, it causes 4 energy balls to spawn around the enemy and then attack them. But in case you miss and hit no one, those 4 energy balls will turn into 1 large energy ball and attack the nearest player. At this point, it would be dumb to rework everything in the game and add new things, but then just leave the boats as they are. Luckily, now we have 1 new boat called Beast Hunter, and 4 reworked ones: Lantern, Guardian, Miracle, and Sentinel. The Beast Hunter is a legendary boat equipped with a harpoon that's able to pierce through Leviathan's hard ice and skin. This boat can be obtained by crafting it at the Beast Hunter NPC, and costs 20 Leviathan scales, 6 electric wings, 2 mutant teeth, 30 fool's gold, and 6 shark teeth. I know it seems pricey, but keep in mind that it's impossible to get Leviathan's heart without this boat. The next boat is reworked, and its name is Lantern, a large ship with 2 cannons on each side and a lantern in the front. It can be bought from the luxury boat boat dealer for 5,000 belly, after you buy it from Cyborg for 1,500 fragments. This boat basically replaced the flower ship in this update, and that's it. Next one is the Guardian, a boat that replaced Swan boat, and the only things changed were the size and the name. And the final boat that was reworked is a well-known speedboat, but instead of being named Speedboat, now it's called Miracle. The best thing you can get in the first sea after getting Aura is definitely Water Kung Fu fighting style. You can get it by learning from a Water Kung Fu teacher, and it's so good for grinding because it doesn't have a delay between the third attack. Comment down below your favorite style. I still don't understand why some people sleep on Buddha. Like, it's the best fruit in the game, especially if you just got to the second sea. Not only is it perfect for grinding in the second sea, but also in the third sea. So after you get Buddha, you don't have to worry much about fruits anymore. Once you awaken its shift ability, it all comes down to what level you want to reach. Buddha is perfect in every aspect. Once you secure yourself with Buddha fruit, you will feel like you're traveling much slower when it comes to running and jumping. So if you don't belong to the 12.5% of players who already have Rabbit Race, you should definitely get it. Rabbit is the fastest race in the game, and when combined with Buddha, it makes you overpowered. But to make it even more OP, you can simply get a Ghoul Mask for 50 ectoplasm. Ghoul Mask improves your movement speed by 35%. You can't say no to that. Almost everyone finds out about Superhuman as they play, but it's always better to learn earlier. Superhuman is a fighting style that specializes in speed, stuns, and knockback. In order to obtain it, you will need 300 mastery on Electric, Dark Step, Water Kung Fu, and Dragon Breath. Once you've got all of these, just head over to Martial Arts Master in the second sea. He'll take care of the rest of the work. This next one will tremendously affect how fast you level up. I'm talking about choosing the right fruit for grinding. I see so many players using PvP fruits for grinding, and they level up so slow. PvP should not be your priority unless you have maxed out your level. So I suggest you focus on leveling up as quickly as possible. The best way to do this is to use grinding fruits. Buddha and Awakened Magma are definitely some of the best grinding fruits out there. But in case you don't have them yet, do your research before you head out to grind next time. This is one of the most brutal mistakes I see new players making all the time. Stop upgrading your stats evenly. Why would you upgrade a stat for something you won't even use in the game? The right way to upgrade your stats is to focus on your health and energy, and then choose what you will use as your main, which is probably fruit. So then just upgrade your fruit stats. This way you won't miss out on anything, and you can always upgrade your other stats later. Most players go crazy when they find out they can find fruits sitting on the ground. But one important thing you should know is that it is extremely hard to find fruits if you're looking on purpose without a fruit notifier add-on. Most of us do find fruits randomly, and it's usually when we least expect it. There's just simply no point in searching for fruits without a notifier. You'll spend a lot of time, and the chances you find anything will be super low. Waiting for a boss to respawn in the first sea is understandable, because first sea bosses respawn relatively fast, but waiting for a boss to respawn in a second or third sea isn't what you should do. Instead, after you kill a boss, just hop on another server where that boss will probably be waiting for you. This is something called server hopping, and it can be used for many things, even grinding. And if you're a new player, you might have never heard of it. Find a boss that gives you a lot of belly, and is pretty easy to kill. Then just server hop and repeat. You will earn a lot of money, level up, and maybe even get a fruit. I wonder how many of you wait for the boss to respawn. Comment down below if you do that. There are many ways in Blox Fruits to glitch the game in yourself, but I bet you didn't know about this one. There's a glitch that literally gets you stuck on a boat, and there's no way to get out of this one. I don't know why someone would want to do this, but if you want to try it, you need Portal's World Warp. Then sit in the boat and use the ability. There you go. Now the only way to exit the boat is to exit the entire game. Did you know that Chad is the king of Blox Fruits? A secret all of you missed. If you take a closer look at the leg of both the chests and trading tables, you'll be able to see a message saying Chad is the king of Blox Fruits. There are rumors that this is a reference to one of the mods, but personally I think they're talking about me. If for some reason you want to be emotional AFKing, you can do that. Portal's Quantum Leap ability allows you to create 2 portals. So place the first one on the ground, look up, and place the other one above the first one. This looks super cool, and it's one of the best ways to be AFK while still being stylish. Now all you need to do is jump into one of those. But now try to exit the loop without changing the fruit. Yeah, good luck with that. You're never escaping. Did you know that Magma is not actually the strongest fruit? Well, it's not. Magma takes 6,500 damage and Bomb takes over 9,000, making it the strongest fruit in the game. Why is Magma still so hyped? I bet you didn't know this one. We all know control fruits let you levitate objects. Now if you go to hot and cold and activate the first ability, you will be able to move igloos. There's one chest under every single igloo. Enjoy it. All of us have died hide from the beautiful pirate before many times. And what we hate even more is having to travel back to the beautiful pirate all the way from Hydra. It's a long way if you don't have a portal, but there's actually a secret tunnel that leads you directly to the beautiful pirate. At the bottom of the waterfall, behind the water, there's a tunnel that will lead you there. But be careful since there are 2 tunnels. You need to get into the bottom one, and I won't tell you where the other one takes you. You'll have to find that out yourself. There's a hole at the Great Tree that lets you fall under the map. Under there, you will discover a huge playground and a great hiding spot if you're trying to run away from someone. Spirit fruit is known for being an effective fruit for PvP and is the 3rd most expensive fruit in the entire game. Spirits are collected over time and used when you summon a buddy. In the update before V4, instead of obtaining them from NPCs or players, you simply get them instantly. Pretty cool. For many of us, Kilo was the first fruit we acquired. Back in the days, Greater Heights used to increase Kilo's ability damage, but not anymore. No matter how high you drop, it will always deal the same damage. Still, this is one of the only fruits that can counter enemies in the air, and it only costs $5,000. Flame Z move used to be the same as in One Piece. It went through 3 reworks due to unknown reasons, and now it's just a blue fire called Blue Fire Bullets. That's not even similar to One Piece. Why on earth do you think they changed it so much? Portal's physical fruit model is a reference to Aperture Science weighted storage cube from the game Portal. But did you know Portal used to be called Door Fruit? It was released in Update 15 and soon completely redesigned with a new name, appearance, and skill set. Why, you ask? Once again, Blox Fruits had to change the fruit because of copyright and save the game for who knows which time. Most of you know who Besto Friendo is, but I bet you didn't know that this myth says you'll get a mastery on anything you have equipped if Besto Friendo kills your enemy. That's too good to be true. Yet somehow it actually works. That's one way to farm your mastery. This may be the most logical myth so far, and it says that bullets don't damage the player that's using a rubber fruit, which makes sense because rubber is supposed to ricochet bullets. I'm curious to find out if this one is actually true. I wasn't able to test it though, so let's see what happened to official newbie. What? No way that actually worked. I expected the bullet would just ricochet off, but it actually just goes through the player. This myth is true. Shout out newbie for taking a bullet. I don't know who figured this out or how they even had this idea, but this myth says that you can only jump in the air once on the second raid platform, which for some reason sounds off. So let's get to the bottom of this by testing it out. There's the first one, and I'm able to jump many times up on that one, but let's see if I can do the same on this one. What? I didn't expect that. This myth is actually true. I can bet anything you want that you didn't know about this one. This myth says that if 2 players do those C moves on each other, no one takes damage. How is that even possible? No one took any damage. Well, this one's definitely true. It's been ages since we started hearing rumors about a new weather system, and finally it's here. Well, almost. We're still limited with information, but we now know this system will be used in Tiki Outposts and sea events. So does this mean it'll always rain in Tiki Outposts? Who knows? There's a leak that shows rainy weather, but keep in mind that developers also promised us for extreme weather conditions, such as storms, fog, whirlpools, and so on. I can't wait for this to be released. Sure, those freshly reworked swords look fantastic, but a new sword would be even more interesting. And it is! I present to you Shark Anchor, a legendary sword you can only get by being the last person to deal damage to a terror shark with an anchor attached, but only with a monster magnet that can be crafted from the Shark Hunter. It deals a lot of damage, and all of its moves are AoE, and they deal damage to multiple enemies at the same time. Its Z move makes you spin the sword around on a chain, catch any enemies near you, and then toss them. When your enemy hits an obstacle or reaches its maximum distance, a water eruption spawns below him and then launches him directly into the sky. That's a crazy one even though there's a short cooldown. It still breaks instinct, and its X move launches you forward, performing an uppercut with the sword. Enemies you hit with this move will be dragged along and slammed down, creating an anchor symbol on the ground if performed close to it. It's also recognizable by creating a pink shatter and red slash effect, and apparently it deals more damage if used against big targets. Update 20 also released 4 new accessories, ranging from hats to necklaces. The first one is called Leviathan Crown, and it's a legendary accessory that's more useful than you might expect. It gives you 12% more damage on melee attacks, 35% more damage on sea events, speeds up health regeneration by 25%, and gives you 40% higher chances of dropping materials from sea events. It even gives you an extra instinct dodge. You can craft it at the Beast Hunter NPC, but the next accessory is Leviathan Shield, which is a mythical accessory that boosts your defense against melee, sword, and gun attacks by 15%, boosts your defense on sea events by 30%, gives you 90% more protection against sea damage, and 1,250 health points. This is so OP. But then comes the Terror Jaw. It's a legendary accessory accessory that grants you 10% more damage on sword attacks, 10% cooldown reduction on any attack, 20% defense on sea events, and 200 energy and 200 health points. You can obtain it from the Shark Hunter and Tiki Outpost. But if you want to be a bit faster, save those shark teeth for the Shark Tooth Necklace. It's a rare accessory that gives you 50% faster sprint speed, plus 10 dash distance, and 25% more damage on sea events. You can obtain it from the same NPC that sells you Terror Gel, but it's way cheaper. You'll only need 1 mutant tooth and 5 shark teeth. Now you may be wondering what all these materials I'm talking about are. They've also been added into update 20, and here's a list of them: Piranha Wing, Fool's Gold, Leviathan Heart, Leviathan Scale, Mutant Tooth, Shark Tooth, Terrorized, Monster Magnet. To obtain any of these new materials, you must be above level 2450, or in other words, on Tiki Outpost Island. Once you're there, you need to get in a boat and travel at least 2,700 meters away from it, because that's where you'll hit threat level 6. The higher the threat level, the more sea events will take place, which means you'll face more NPCs, bosses, and enemies from whom you can get these new materials. Keep in mind that as the threat level rises, the enemies you face will also become stronger, so don't immediately go for the highest threat level until you're confident in yourself. To obtain a shark tooth, you will need to kill sharks. Luckily, you can easily identify them underwater. You can get piranha wings from piranhas in the sea, obviously. Mutant tooth and terrorize are obtained by defeating the terror shark raid boss that spawns during sea events. And I already explained how the Leviathan heart is obtained. All you have to do is get out to sea, but equip yourself with some nice fruits because you'll need them. Trust me. Another addition in update 20 is 4 new titles. The first one is Terror Bringer. You earn it by defeating 10 terror sharks. The second new title is Serpent Slayer, and we still don't have a lot of information about this one. We only know that its color is dark blue, and you get it when you kill Levi a certain amount of times. The third new title is Abyss Tamer. You earn it when you clear 50 sea events. And finally, the last one is Nautical Bane, which is just Abyss Tamer but buffed up, because you'll need to clear 200 sea events to earn this one and show off its cyan color. To figure out how far you're away from the Tiki Outpost, or in which threat level you are, developers added a danger meter. It's a purple ring around your compass, and in my opinion, it's a game changer. Beside all these new additions and reworks, developers also focused on fixing a bunch of bugs and glitches. Unfortunately, some useful and fun glitches that worked before may not work now. But hey, at least our game won't be buggy. Sea events won't spawn on islands anymore, chests won't be floating in the sea, you won't be able to see Red Barrier in the sky, Kushida door quests will open normally from now on, and many more boat and fruit issues the game had are fixed. This next myth is really important if you're trying to hunt some sea beasts. It says that if you drive somebody else's boat, a sea beast will never spawn. So let's steal someone's boat and see if we can find any sea beasts. Alright, I'm driving this boat and I don't know whose it is, but I've been on the sea for quite some time now. And guess what? Not a single sea beast has spawned, which means this is true. So if your friend has a boat that's faster than yours, never borrow it to go sea beast hunting. 90% of the Blox Fruits community don't know about this myth. It says that you can place landmines in the air if you're standing next to a ledge. At first I thought it's impossible, but then I realized it makes sense. So let's see if it's actually true. And as I expected, it actually is. To make things even more interesting, this also works on the sea. This one is for the third sea chads only, and it says that if you use Portal's World Warp while entering that teleport machine that teleports you from Turtle Mansion to the castle on the sea, you will crash the entire server. Let's see if this is true. Alright, we're at the Great Tree, but nothing happened? I guess this myth is false, which is probably for the best. This myth says that if you hold the magma floor and then reset, it should stay there forever. I don't know how someone came up with this, but let's see if it's true. Alright, magma floor, hit the reset, and bam! There it is, no way! Now let's wait and see if it disappears. It's been hours and it's still there. If you use Death Step's C move and talk to any fighting style dealer, you will end up spinning forever until you reset your character or die. And to make things even worse, you can't even move around, dash, flash step, or nothing else while you're spinning. This is how you can become the biggest player on the server. You'll need an unawakened Buddha's transformation for this one. Once you've got it, awaken the Z move, transform again, and you will have a big head. I already know that most of you don't know about this one. You'll need an awakened version of Buddha. Go to the Awakening Expert and unawaken your Buddha Z move. Use the unawakened Buddha transform move, then go back to the Awakening Expert and awaken your Buddha Z move again. Once again, use Buddha's awakened Z move, and when you turn it off, your body will remain golden. And now you just look like a big minion. Did you know this? Comment down below. Becoming invincible in Blox Fruits is a dream, and here's how you can do it. First, complete a raid with the fruit that the raid belongs to. When you come to the Awakening Room, use a flash step to teleport outside the box. Find stones on the side of the walls and flash step through the wall to the tunnel under the Kingdom of Rose. And that's it. You are now invincible until you reset or join. But at what cost? Well, you won't be able to damage other players or teleport home. I'm starting to think this one isn't as good as it sounds. Some players still don't know that you can switch your fruits instantly, just by clicking on the shop button. From here, you can select any permanent fruit you want, as long as you've already bought it. Use this to troll your friends by jumping straight into lava or water, and then at the very last second, switching to a magma fruit. Your friend will be so confused since you didn't have it equipped when you jumped, and they'll think that you're some sort of god. Take this a step further by pretending to accidentally fall in, and then still being completely unharmed. Everyone loves to compare their bounty to their friends, so why not prank your friends by increasing yours? If you go to this hidden island on the first sea, you will find the mob leader. Every time you kill him, you will gain 3,000 bounty. This may not sound like a lot, but you can kill him in just a few swings, and he respawns every minute. This means that you can increase your bounty by well over 100,000 every single hour. Do this for long enough, and your friends will stare in awe as you tower over them with your huge bounty. Prank your friends by becoming invincible to sword attacks. It's actually pretty easy to do this. All you need is a chop fruit. Most players think that the chop fruit is one of the worst fruits in the entire game, but it has a secret ability that lets you troll your friends. Using a chop fruit will make you completely immune to any sword attacks, so you can stand still as you get attacked by a pirate, while your friend freaks out, wondering how you aren't dead yet. Have you ever seen a player with a bounty of over 50 million? Yeah, probably not. But did you know that when a player this powerful joins a server, every player receives a message in the chat saying something like, "Beware, the god has arrived," and the name of that player? But seriously, what do you have to do to get a 50 mil bounty? Don't be a fool thinking Rip Indra is the strongest boss in the game. Everyone knows it's actually King. He's level 2300, uses Awakened Doe moves, and has exactly 1,111,500 HP. And Rip Indra only has 850,000. But at least he's the co-creator of the best game on Roblox. I bet most of you didn't know that you can become Rip Indra, but you will need to spare around $46,250 to get this satisfaction. That's right, the whole Rip Indra outfit costs 3.7 million Robux. So I assume Rip Indra will remain one and only, but we all have a friend who would buy this if they had the money. Here's a simple fact most of you definitely didn't know, probably because you've never had sand fruit. If you eat sand fruit and jump in the water, you will take twice as much damage. That makes some sense, but at least NPCs won't be able to hit you since sand is an elemental fruit. Most of you think that light is the fastest fruit in the game, but it's actually not. A portal fruit is obviously much faster. Portal's world warp ability lets you travel anywhere on the map, and I mean anywhere. Teleporting is the fastest way of traveling, and you can also bring your friend. But I think it's too expensive since traveling is the only thing you can use it for. That's not worth 1.9 million. Did you know that boats can fly? It's so simple to do this, but just a tiny number of players know about this. All you have to do is take a control fruit, create a dome with its first ability, and launch your boat into the sky. That's almost as fast as the portal. I guarantee you nobody knows about this one. If you use a move before you touch lava, it will make you immune and you won't die. It works with literally any move, and from now on it will save thousands of lives. This is one of the quickest ways to level up. All you need is a Buddha fruit. When you transform, your hit range dramatically increases, so not only can you kill NPCs quickly, but they also won't even be able to touch you. And when you combine it with a god human, you will level up even quicker. When you're done with one island during the raid, it's time to go to another one. But did you know a boat isn't actually the quickest option? That's why pro players dash to the next island. It saves you so much time. Some people still don't know that using an auto clicker in Blox fruits is allowed. It makes life 100 times easier, especially when it comes to farming. All you have to do is turn on the auto clicker and stand on the spawn point of the user or NPC. Feel free to keep it running overnight and you will have a nice surprise when you wake up in the morning. Did you know if you head over to the bottom right corner of Marine Base, climb on the tower and jump down, you will find Parlous, an NPC that sells you the black cape. He will sell it to you quickly by saying he bought it for 100,000 Robux from some kid, and now he's selling it for only 50k and needs the money right now because he has to go to church. This one is really cool. Get ready by going near the water and equipping Phoenix Fruit. Spawn yourself a boat, activate Phoenix's X ability, which is healing, sit in the boat and just exit it. Now you've got yourself a cool animation that will last forever. It will literally haunt you for the rest of your life. If you head over to the cafe on the second sea and go into the corner where those pictures are, look up and you'll see a pillar you need to jump onto. Once you're up there, take a careful look at the wall and you will see some text. It says it exists. exists, but no one actually knows what this is supposed to mean, or if it's just an Easter egg without any actual meaning. What do you think? Next time you're using Dough Z, instead of just clicking it, hold it. It will travel much farther and deal so much more damage. Blox Fruit's developers simply love hats. If you go behind a windmill on Turtle Island, you will find a red hat called Vietnam Cone. It's just an Easter egg made by the developers to show their support towards Vietnamese Blox Fruit's players. I bet you didn't know that. While you're at Turtle Island, head into the mansion and you'll notice a carpet. Walk on the tiles and then walk on the carpet. They make two completely different sounds. It's amazing that developers paid that much attention to detail. Spin is one of the most hated fruits in the game. It's so bad. But maybe you don't know everything about it. Believe it or not, Spin's spinning bomber ability has aimbot. You only have to be near your enemy and click C and it should work. Try it out and see for yourself. This is the only raid method that has a 100% success rate. Get into the light raid, and when you're inside the pyramid, all you have to do is transform into Buddha. Now you can just stand behind the wall and hit the boss without receiving any damage. Buddha's range is just so OP. You know how it's super hard to see anything while doing a quest in a dark space? Well, just turn on fast mode. Fast mode isn't only for players that are playing on lower end PCs, but also for those who have a high end PC. The fast mode makes the dark places look so much brighter. Many new players spend all their money rolling fruits, which is basically gambling, and it almost always makes you lose. Instead, you should focus on saving money and get yourself a Buddha as soon as possible. Once you have it, the game becomes so much easier and you can earn way more money. Did you know that you can actually remove fruits? I don't know why anyone would want to do this, but it's possible. If you want to remove a fruit, you can go to Prison Island, where you can find a guy that will remove your unwanted fruit for $50,000. That's right, you have to pay him and give him your fruit. Did you know that dragon fruit is literally useless? Well, not really, but it is if you're still in the first sea. If you're a beginner and somehow get your hands on the dragon fruit, don't eat it. You will get nothing and just waste 3.5 million belly. Oh yeah, you also can't store it. It's better to just donate it at that point. If it's your first time launching the game, listen to the map. That map you see at the starter island is fully accurate. Instead of going around in your boat trying to find an island, just travel in the direction of the island that's literally located on the map. Why do people ignore this? In order to achieve the fastest possible moving speed on the ground, you have to equip leopard fruit and pilot helmet. Those two when combined will make it impossible for your enemies to catch you. Some of you still don't know that you can unawaken your fruit once it's awakened. Go into the cafe's basement and find an awakening expert. There you can simply unawaken your fruit, and I don't really know why anyone would want to do this, but it feels good to know that you can. Some of you already know that magma has the same ability as ice. You can walk on water using both of them. Ice's walking on water ability was inspired by One Piece, but magma's wasn't. We still don't know why developers did that. This one is really funny. Equip your katana, open your inventory, and let go of Z and quickly press unequip. You will be stuck in a really weird pose. This glitch is better known as the sus glitch. Some even say it's bannable, but don't listen to them. There are so many more risky things and glitches that aren't even bannable. If you ever wanted to turn your boat into an airplane, I'll show you how to do it. Use Love's F ability to pick up your friend, and then fly into the boat's driver's seat. And boom, now you've got a flying boat that you can't really control. It's impossible to swim with the devil fruit. Or is it? If you activate Fish V3 Race, you will be able to swim while your devil fruit is equipped without taking any damage. One more thing most of you didn't know about Fish V3 is that when you activate it, you will take up to 80% less damage from any source. Fish V3 is actually extremely overpowered. Beginners definitely don't know about this one. A saber sword is the only sword in the game that you can awaken just as fruits. When you get it, kill someone that's a similar level to you, and you can upgrade the abilities on it. Trident weapons are the only weapons with two kind of dashes. The first one is the normal one where you can fly using a trident, and the second one where you can only throw it. The first dash performs great for boosting your movement during the fight. They're similar to Minecraft, don't you think? One of, if not the best farming method in the game is Buddha farming. I know Buddha fruit isn't cheap, but once you somehow acquire it, it'll make your life way easier. All you need is Buddha's transformation because your hit range will become much bigger. You'll be able to easily kill NPCs and not take a single hit. Buddha is really too OP. You probably already know this one since the Sky Island is one of the most favorable islands in the whole game. Up there you'll find a huge temple. Find your way inside on the bottom of it, use something to break that wall on the end of the tunnel, and voila! Now all you have to do is loot all those chests and get about 7k. Most of you don't know that Bobby Island is actually called Pirate Village. If you head over there, you will find one diamond chest located in the pile of cartoon boxes right beside the stairs. You'll get about 4k each time you loot it, and then just server hop. In an hour you could get about 400k. That's not bad at all. In case you got too much Robux for your birthday, which isn't the case for me since my friends don't even know when my birthday is, and you don't know how to spend it, but you also want to become super rich in Blox fruits, then buying a double money game pass is the best thing you can do. I can't believe how many people are sleeping on this one. Spawn Pirates grinding is one of the quickest ways to gather XP in the second sea. A lot of Spawn Pirates spawn close to each other at the Kingdom of Rose Island, and if you have a Buddha, this process will become even easier since Buddha makes your range far bigger, so you will be able to reach them from a distance and they won't even get a chance to hit you. This is the absolute fastest way to level up quickly in Blox fruits, and it's honestly my favorite method. Get a friend that's way higher level than you, start quests, and let them damage the NPCs until they're one hit for you. Then you just kill them and get all of the XP. This one really is my favorite, but I don't have any friends so I never tried it out. Maybe some of you already know that killing a sea beast gives you a lot of belly, but did you know that you will automatically level up once you kill a sea beast no matter what level you are? The only exception for this is max level. Sea beasts aren't easy to kill, but a level up is a level up. So next time you're riding a boat and see a sea beast, you know what to do. Once you're in the third sea, you will want to head over to the Ancient Monk. Why, you ask? Because he will teach you the God-Human fighting style, which is an enhanced version of the Superhuman. God-Human is considered to be the best XP and PvP fighting style in the entire game, and although it's hard to obtain and grind for, it's definitely worth it. Tons of new players don't know this one. There are 2 fruits in the game that give you PvP advantages. Chop fruits make you immune to any sword, and that's why it's one of the best fruits for new players that are fighting bosses. And the second way to become immune is to use rubber fruit, which makes you immune to any lightning attack. You should definitely write this down. Most of you don't know that there's no need to launch the game just to see if a fruit dealer has anything worth buying in the stock. If you're looking to purchase a good fruit, but you're too lazy to launch the game and see what's in the stock, just get into the game's Discord server. There's a channel called Stock Discussion where players let other players know what the stock looks like and if it's worth launching the game. Pretty neat. Everybody knows that the Dark Blade is overpowered. Well, it is, but the Saber V2 actually has the highest skill damage. When used at the perfect distance, Saber V2 will do over 6,500 damage. What, you all really thought the chess table was just a decoration? No, that chess table located in the cafe is fully functional. Next time someone messes with you, call them out to play chess. The winner gets the most valuable fruit from the other's inventory. Blocksmith is an NPC that allows you to upgrade your swords and guns, but I often see new players upgrading literally useless items such as katana or any kind of gun. This is a big no-no because you will spend your material upgrading items that you probably won't use in the future. Instead, you should save your materials and upgrade the items you know you'll stick to until reaching max level. A massive mistake new players make is not dashing while fighting. This is extremely important because it allows you to hit your enemy and then quickly dash away from them so they don't hit you. It'll be your friend because your defense stat is probably still low. And for someone like me, it's great because I don't have any friends. If you've watched some of my videos, you know how much I love Buddha and how OP it is. And this is actually one of the biggest mistakes players make. I'm talking about grinding without a Buddha fruit. There are some good grinding fruits out there such as Light or Magma, but none of these can compare with Buddha at all. Its range and speed are truly a must-have if you want to reach max level fast, even though it costs 1.2 million belly or 1,650 fragments. I promise you that it will pay for itself in no time, but if you're still poor, ask your friend to buy it for you. That's exactly how I got my Buddha fruit. Yeah, I'm lying again, I don't have any friends. One of the most common things players do in Blox fruits is ignoring sea beasts. Most of you do this because you think they're too OP and impossible to kill. Sure, they are pretty difficult, but you shouldn't be ignoring them, and especially don't avoid them once you see them spawn. That's because they don't spawn very often, so once they spawn, you're literally missing out on a huge reward. A lot of belly, fragments, and even a chance of getting fruit or an accessory. A Fist of Darkness is valuable, and it's just another reason why you shouldn't be avoiding sea beasts. Trust me, this one might save your life one day. A ghoul mask is a must-have rare item, and not having it is a massive mistake. This mask gives you the ability to gain health equivalent to a portion of the damage you deal with melee attacks known as Life Leech. When having it equipped, you'll gain health equivalent to 10% of your damage dealt to players and 2.5% against NPCs. On top of that, Ghoul Mask also gives you 35% more running speed and 500 energy. It's literally a must-have. Players have been searching for a way to keep their bounties safe for ages now, and here it is. If you get killed by an NPC or another player kills you, you will obviously lose bounty, but if you unalive yourself right before they kill you, you will get to keep your bounty. It's that simple, and you should definitely start practicing this, cause it takes some really quick reflexes. This is a weird one that no one will ever use, but believe it or not, you can use a fruit and its abilities without actually having that fruit. For example, if you have leopard fruit and transform into leopard, then remove that fruit from your inventory at fruit remover, you will still be a leopard without having leopard fruit. I don't know if there's any use in this, but it's good to know it exists. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you have a physical fruit and are about to die and lose it? Well, actually, it's super easy to save it. All you need to do is press backspace when you die and you will drop the fruit. Obviously, this is useless if you die in a PvP fight because the other player will just grab it. And if you're quick enough, you can call in a friend for backup and you can drop it to them quickly before you die. But I can never do this because I don't have any friends. But if there's not enough time for that, at least you will get a second chance to destroy that dude. Did you know that there are secret doors in Marine Fortress? But you'll need a dark plate to open them. So many of you will never get to go through these doors. Well, unless the admin is your best friend, then he can simply give you one. This one is a little more complicated, but I guarantee you it's worth it. You'll need Buddha's Instinct and any weapon you like. During the battle, activate Instinct and dodge the enemy's attack. And as soon as you see Instinct's animation equip your weapon, then activate Shift Lock and start jumping around. Your jumping speed will be way faster. For one of the best speed glitches in the entire game, you'll need Rabbit's V3 ability and Barrier's F move. First activate Rabbit's V3 and then hold Stairs ability. Now you have a speed boost from Rabbit V3 until you run out of stamina. But don't forget that you have to hold Stairs move, because if you let go, it's over. You'll literally die. Well, actually you don't, but you'll be slow again. There are many ways you can make a boat fly, but this one can turn your boat into a rocket. Use control area move and sit on the boat as you levitate it. Then aim directly into the sky and your boat will start spinning like crazy and launch you into the stratosphere. Do you know about this crazy helicopter glitch? You won't spawn a helicopter, but you will become one that doesn't fly. Take your dough fruit and go to the fruit remover. As you use Dough's C move, remove your dough fruit and you'll start spinning like crazy. Smaller avatars actually perform better in PvP. How? Easy. Smaller avatars are much harder to hit because, well, they have smaller hitboxes. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. From now on, I'm only wearing smaller avatars when I'm about to PvP someone. The first time I started the game, I somehow got in this house without even knowing a thing about the game. There's one house on the middle island you can enter and find a very interesting surprise in it. There's nothing worthy inside, but since it's an Easter egg house, the content of it is pretty wild. Check it out. For those of you that attempted fighting Don Swan, you never fought him in the mansion. Instead, you're teleported to another location on the map that's not even close to the mansion. I mean, what did you expect? It's obvious that in-game fruits were inspired by the One Piece anime, but only a few of you know that the fruit characteristics were fully copied from One Piece. For example, Ice Fruit lets you walk on water, just like Aokiji in One Piece. Flash Step was an ability early players discovered that can be used for the no-clip glitch. You just had to stand by the wall, move your camera, and press R to flash. That's it, it was that easy and always worked. No-clip was the first glitch discovered and there are a lot more of them out there. Let me know if you want me to make a video about all the glitches found in Blox fruits. Darkbeard used to drop something called a rare artifact. It was used for stat refund and to change your race from Tord. Demand for these was huge since they had many uses, especially for, at the time, the rare Dragon Breath fighting style. Artifacts have since been removed, however, since update 11, and were replaced with fragments. Fragments are kinda easy to obtain. Defeating Darkbeard or Rip Indra will give you 1500 fragments. When the game first got out, it was called Blox Piece, and a few months later it became Blox Fruits. As for the previous things that were removed due to copyright, the situation was the exact same. One Piece thought Blox Piece sounded way too similar, even though there's a Roblox game called a One Piece. That definitely doesn't sound similar, not even close. Players started bullying the new name, but all of a sudden the popularity for the game skyrocketed just because of it. And this tiny change definitely brought Blox Fruits thousands of new players. Years ago, there was this thing called a treasure inventory. It was used to store fruits and game passes. You could only store one of each fruit, and you could upgrade your treasure inventory with a game pass, which allowed you to store 2 of each fruit. It was a physical chest, unlike today's inventory, which means every time you wanted to use it, you would have to walk over to it and open it. Most of you know that you can use magma fruit to walk on lava, but some players are saying you can do the same with the leopard fruit. There's no way this is true, but I guess let's see. Are you serious? How did I know this earlier? Another true myth. I heard that apparently if you subscribe to the channel in the next 10 seconds, the next fruit you roll will be extra good. Let's test this out. And wait, what? That's actually really good. Comment down below and let me know what you got. If for whatever reason you wanted to bring a saber expert outside of the house using portal, you can actually do so. Or at least that's what this myth says. Let's see if this actually works. And dang, this one is true too. Run, he's too strong. Just kidding, he's not. This one says that if you use a spring leaf in a well-known frog room, you'll start bouncing off the walls like crazy. And oh my god, this one is true. I had to exit the game to stop bouncing. Myth confirmed. This glitch is probably one of the most OP glitches in all of Blox Fruits. You'll first need to get a bow and have Phoenix's X ability unawakened. Use the X ability and then go on the bow. You won't lose any energy when you are on the boat, and it can stack. But keep in mind that this glitch sometimes glitches itself and can even glitch you out of the game. I just said glitch way too many times. Comment how many times I said it. Open up your avatar tab and make your avatar super small. This gives you a huge advantage in PvP since some moves are harder to hit due to the smaller hitbox. I don't even understand why you wouldn't want to do this. Me personally, I'll take functionality over looks any day of the week. If having 4 people in a raid isn't already enough, here's how you can double that number. You need 4 people with Love Fruit's F move, and then simply get 2 people on 1 flamingo. Just make sure to properly angle the flamingo in order to get into the raid. But once you do this, you're going to have the easiest raid in the entire world. You definitely didn't know that one. I bet you didn't know that if you hold Barrier Fruit's X move or Dragon Fruit's Z move before you teleport into the raid, you will be teleported all the way back to the raid's room or castle on the sea. There are some other moves that may also work, but I'm not gonna tell you which ones. This one only works sometimes, so try it and let me know if it worked for you. Most players don't know that you can actually equip 2 fighting styles at the same time. If you want to blow your friend's mind, do this by equipping either the Dark Step or Dead Step fighting style, and make sure to have the final ability unlocked. Once you've done this, you can now use the Overheat ability, which will set your legs on fire. Then just head over to an ability teacher and get the Sharkman or Electric fighting style. Equip it and now you have double powers. Use this speed hack to troll your friends. Of course, I'm not actually going to use hacks, but it sure looks like I am. To do this, crank up your speed by equipping Pilot Helmet, Rabbit Race, and using Spirit Fruit to spawn pigs. Then quickly switch fruits and you'll be even faster. If you do this enough times, you'll be even faster than an Olympic sprinter. And if you do it correctly, you can actually move so fast that players will think you're teleporting. And you can use this to steal any fruits they drop in the blink of an eye. One of the best tricks you can do is simply pretending to be a noob. This one won't work on your friends, but it can help you make some new ones. Customize your character to look like a default noob, and then ask players to help you out. Some players might be toxic, so troll them by suddenly becoming overpowered and killing them. And if they're nice and actually help you for some reason, now you have a brand new friend. Just make sure not to slip up and reveal to them that you're not actually a noob, otherwise they'll feel betrayed and call you a liar. But what if you're like me and don't have any friends? Don't worry, you can just spawn your besto friendo. He'll follow you around and protect you at all costs. And you can even troll him by taking him with you as you hop on a flamingo and fly over the sea. You can even prank NPCs with this by spawning a flamingo with a love fruit while you're near them, and they'll get picked up and join you for the ride. If your friend is new to the game, prank them by lying about which fruits give you which abilities. Some fruits can be misleading, like magma fruit letting you walk on water. So tell your friend that sand fruit lets you do the same, and watch as they jump into water, only to be shocked as they take damage twice as fast as usual. This one's only half true, however, as if you time your hops perfectly with a sand fruit on water, water, you'll take 0 damage. One of the best ways to prank your friends in Blox Fruits is to activate Magma's Beast Ride ability while near water. Blox Fruits developers use the same sound effect for this ability as for the spawning of a sea beast. Now your friend will think a sea beast just spawned and they'll run as fast as they can to kill it. You probably don't know this one. If you're a beginner and want to know how everyone has those abilities with cool animations, head over to Arrow. He's an NPC that allows players to evolve their race to V3. That's how you get those cool cosmetic changes and a varying race skill. You can find him in a hidden room under Diamond's Hill. Just don't tell him I told you that. If you just got your control fruit, you probably don't know about this one. If you want to spawn that huge control area, all you've got to do is hold Z instead of just clicking it. This ability also lets you make your boat fly as well. Just a reminder of how great control is. Another thing control fruit allows you to do is become immune to the enemy's hit while you use its C ability. You've got a couple of seconds until the ability ends, and in some situations it could save your life. You definitely didn't know that one. Have you ever wanted a flaming boat? Get yourself an unawakened phoenix fruit and activate its C move. Then sit in your boat and you will have blue flames around you that you won't be able to get rid of no matter what. It only looks cool though. Have you ever found a fragment chest? What? You didn't know those exist? Don't worry, most people don't, and that's because these can only be found on Mirage Island, but only during C events. Even the most OG players don't know their spawn locations. Everyone knows that you can have a maximum of 4 friends in a raid, but there's a trick to double this number. All you will need is 4 people with love fruit that will spawn flamingo, and then the other 4 people will get on those flamingos, then just start a raid while standing on a pad. Raids literally can't get any easier than this. Everyone looks at the bomb fruit like it's something useless. I mean, it is one of the worst fruits in the game, but most of you don't know that it can become a launch pad. That's right, get your friend and hold the V ability. The longer they can hold it, the better, and then let go. You will launch your friend so high he will reach the upper sky. This can be pretty useful, for example when you're on low HP and need to get out of the fight, but your opponent is a pro and will find you again in a second. Just have your friend launch you to safety. I'd be able to do this if I had any friends. If you equip the human race V3, you will get permanent dodges on any fruit that you have. Your enemy won't be able to hit you 8 times, and if you have a pale scarf, you will get 2 extra dodges. That's so cool. Did you know you should never do your raids in the 3rd C? The enemies there are literally too overpowered. Always go to the 2nd C first, where enemies are much easier to kill since they're lower level. Just don't forget to switch your fruits. Hockey is simply amazing. As you level up your hockey, the damage you deliver levels up too. So get your full hockey and level it up as soon as you can. Did you know this? Comment down below. You probably already know about the laboratory used for starting raids on the 2nd C, but I doubt you know about the 2nd location on the same island where you can also start raids. Head over to the hot side of Hot and Cold Island and climb on top of the mountain. Here you will find a secret door. Inside there's a bunch of capsules for starting a raid. Good to know. One more thing you'll get out of AFK farming are actual fruits. Many of you don't know this, but if you leave your game running for a whole night with an auto clicker while standing near NPC spawn points, your character will continue killing them while you're sleeping in your cozy bed. Once you're up in the morning, you'll be surprised with how much belly you made overnight without doing anything. But you'll be even more surprised when you realize that you also have a few different fruits in your inventory. Those NPCs have low chances of dropping a fruit, and you'll make even more money selling those fruits. Not everyone knows that the cursed ship is filled with 8 chests, and each one gives you 2,000 to 3,000. It only takes a few seconds to collect all of them, and then just server hop and repeat. In a single hour, you can actually make a few million. I bet you didn't know this one. There's an NPC called Death King located on the Haunted Castle Island in the 3rd C, and for every 50 bones you trade him, he'll give you a few thousand belly. But that's not everything. There's a slight chance of him dropping a fruit. Alright, I'm gonna go collect some bones. This one may be cheating. Just kidding, auto clicker is not a cheat and it's completely allowed for those who don't know. Just head over to the spawn point of your enemy, turn on your auto clicker, and let them come at you as soon as they spawn, just to get killed. Leave it on overnight and you'll be thanking me in the comments tomorrow. What if you want to buy a game pass but you don't know what to get? If your goal is to grind without stopping, I recommend you get a double mastery pass. It's arguably the best grinding pass, and it will allow you to level up a fruit, combat style, a sword, or literally anything else, and much faster than you usually would. In case you're rich, here's how you can level up twice as fast. Spend your Robux on 2x XP. For 1500 Robux, you will get 24 hours of double XP, which doesn't run out if you're not playing. So 1500 Robux gets you double XP that can last you through all the seas. Once you spawn for the first time, you will obviously be interested in spending your hard-earned belly onto stupid things. But don't. Instead of buying unnecessary things, save your money and get a good fruit or anything else that's smart. I'm obviously not talking about guns. If you spend your belly like crazy, it will affect your progress a lot. Did you know that Cake Queen is one of the best bosses for farming? Upon killing her, you will receive 2 million XP and she has a 5% chance of dropping the buddy sword. She takes 30 minutes to respawn, so server hopping would be a pretty good idea for this one. You could get around 6 to 8 million XP per hour. Yeah, you can't say no to that. Do you know that fruit won't disappear if you drop it onto a wall? Instead, it will land at the top of the wall. That's pretty weird. Blox Fruits developers really said no to the laws of physics. But if you're creative enough, this would be a good way to prank your friends. Get your most expensive fruit and drop it into the wall. Now your friends will think you literally wasted the fruit, but actually it's on top of the building. Completely safe. This next one makes no sense. But did you know that you can use an ice skate to skate on lava and not take any damage? Like, how is this even possible? Wouldn't the lava melt the ice? Lava is clearly stronger than ice. So why doesn't it melt? I guess the devs just didn't think about this one. This one's not a secret, but definitely something many of you didn't know. When you have no fruits, you can swim without taking any damage. So now I have a question. Is the Blox Fruits world jealous because we got its fruit and now it wants to kill us? It sure seems that way. Did you know that the rarest thing in Blox Fruits is leopard fruit spawning in every server at once? It's so rare that the chances of me finding a friend are higher than this happening. And that's about 0%. As soon as you launch the game for the first time, instead of killing NPCs on the spawn island, go over to Fountain City and stand behind this wall to attract them. You can hit them, but they can't do anything to you. You will reach level 60 just by killing 3 NPCs. If you're really curious and want to find out what the Blox Fruits map is made on, I recommend you go to the mansion on the second sea. Put your graphics at the lowest level possible, and jump up in the sky as high as you can. You can do this even if you're a beginner, since all you need is Kilo's F ability. You will freeze midair and look around you. It's a globe. Hopefully One Piece doesn't sue Blox Fruits for copyright, since the map is still sphere shaped and not a cube like all the fruits. The only reason why some players don't like using light fruit is because once you activate the flight light, you can't steer while flying. It only travels straight. And if someone is not using the light fruit for flying, that's probably because they don't know. All they have to do is awaken the fruit and there you go. Now you can navigate where you want to fly. Most of you already know who Zyolus is, an NPC that's basically Blox Fruits Casino. He sells you random fruits and pros avoid him because they know he's actually a scammer. The chances of him giving you something good are super low. Using this glitch will make sure you win every PvP battle out there. Take God Human Fruit and use the Soaring Beast, the Z move. Then face up and quickly face down and spam spacebar. Your new nickname will be Speed. Did you know that dying to an NPC makes you lose bounty?
Yeah, we already know this.
Well, you may know the first part, but you don't know how much bounty you lose after dying from which NPC. The amount of bounty you lose is actually an NPC's level. For example, if an NPC is level 10, you will lose 1,000. Simple math. On the Castle of the Sea, there are bookshelves that are unbreakable, but there's a way of breaking them, and it's pretty easy. All you need to do is go outside and break a tree, and then quickly run to the bookshelves and break them. This secret gets a reward for being the most useless secret ever. I really want to meet the person that found this out. Can you imagine how bored they were? Did you know that you could actually get a free leopard? I didn't believe this at first, but when I hit that red subscribe button down below and launched Blox Fruits, I had a leopard fruit in my inventory. How crazy is that? I can't even imagine how much effort the game's developers had to put in order to make that work. Paramecia, Logia, and Zone are the names whose meaning most of you don't know. Let me translate them. Natural, Elemental, and Beast. Those names I first mentioned are how categories used to be called back in the day. Just like sphere-shaped fruits and old skins of NPCs, the old names of fruit categories were removed because of copyright. This is because they were the same ones as in One Piece. Way back in time, whenever fruit spawned, you had to search for it and it was an exhausting process. That's because there were only 4 game passes, and Fruit Notifier wasn't one of them. However, that changed nothing for players who don't spend their money on Robux. Now that's cool. At the moment, there's 4 sea events in Blox Fruit: Ship Raids, CPSs, Rumbling Waters, and Mirage Island. But in the older version of Blox Fruits, there was not a single sea event. Grinding fragments was so hard and many people left the game because of this and came back when sea events were introduced. If you knew that one, let me know down in the comments below. But way back in the prehistoric ages, millions of years ago, the maximum number of players that could play play on a single server was only 10. I'm gonna guess there wasn't any PvPs. Imagine how cool it would be though if there was 10 players teamed up and getting richer together. Or you could do all your quests in peace without thinking about if someone's going to attack you or have the same quest as you. I wish people would stop attacking me. Observation hacking is definitely the best and most useful thing in the game, but for starters, it's impossible to level up to. Here's a trick to max your observation as quickly as possible. Go to any NPC that grinds your OB hockey, preferably near your spawn point, and just let them hit you while your OB is activated. And once all your dodges are gone, just hop on another server and repeat the process. This will save you so much time. Most of you think that light is the fastest fruit in the game, but it's actually not. A portal fruit is obviously much faster. Portal's world warp ability lets you travel anywhere on the map, and I mean anywhere. Teleporting is the fastest way of traveling, and you can also bring your friend. But I think it's too expensive since traveling is the only thing you can use it for. That's not worth 1.9 million. Heads up, the only way to get a triple dark blade is to be really good friends with an admin, or be his brother. Only admins can get this sword, which is obviously because it's too overpowered. It looks like you're holding 3 dark blades and its abilities are the same but tripled. For example, the slash ability is the same, but instead of 1, it sends out 3 slashes. I hope I'll never encounter an enemy that has this sword. We all know that when you want to awaken a specific fruit, you have to complete a raid using that same fruit. But there's a little trick that makes you able to awaken any fruit by completing a raid using Buddha. Just start a raid and complete the first 4 islands with the Buddha fruit, then eat the fruit that you want to awaken and use that fruit to kill the last standing NPC. When you're teleported to the awakening place, just awaken that fruit. So easy. Some of you already know that you can make boats fly with control fruit, but what if I told you this next myth says you can fly in the boat using flamingo? You need to spawn your besto friendo facing a boat and he will instantly sit in it. Then just activate F move, and as you and your besto friendo fly, your boat will follow you. Well, at least that's what this myth says. Are you serious? How is this possible? That's another true myth. This next one says that you can grab factory core with the Do-Si move. Well, something happened, but we didn't grab the core? That one is busted. Apparently, there's a secret entrance to a door under this waterfall in the 3rd sea. I've literally never seen this before, so there's no way it exists. And wait, what? How did I not know about this? Another myth while we're here is that supposedly you can just break down this giant stone door, and there's an entire temple on the inside? Why has nobody ever told me this was here? Myth confirmed. Find someone who's AFK in their boat, and simply push the boat out from under them. Their boat also might get submerged in the water. This is a great way to prank your friends, or to just confuse any AFK players. But this brand new Buddha glitch is even crazier. To do this, you'll need perm fruits, and not just any perm fruits. First, get your Buddha and equip it, and then open your fruit selection and spam click on control fruit. At first, it'll ask you to disable your transformation first, but if you spam it enough, it will simply equip control fruit. Now you're an absolute giant with control fruit. Nobody's gonna want to mess with you. I wish I knew this years ago. Did you know about this flight glitch that was so overpowered they removed it from the game? All you need to do is have chop fruit activated and turn on shift lock. Then activate your C move and switch to your sword as fast as possible. Once you've done this, you'll be able to fly just by spam pressing your spacebar and hitting A and D. That's insane. You can get 200 fragments for free by going to Hydra Island that's located on the 3rd sea. Once you're there, head over to the arena trainer, start the quest and kill your enemy. And there you go, you've just earned yourself 200 fragments. Don't get scared once you see that the trainer's got the dark blade. Luckily, he can't use any abilities. Also, you can start this quest every hour. Did you know that boats can fly? It's so simple to do this, but just a tiny number of players know about this. All you have to do is take a control fruit, create a dome with its first ability, and launch your boat into the sky. That's almost as fast as the portal. Do you know about this secret AFK farming method? Get ready for this one by equipping an elemental fruit, and then get yourself a katana. Go to any NPC that doesn't have haki and turn on your auto clicker. The NPC won't be able to hit you, and you can leave the auto clicker on overnight. In the morning, you'll have quite some loot, but make sure to use the worst sword because in this case, the amount of hits is the thing that matters most. This one's not a trick, but more of a prank you can abuse to make fun of your friends. Buy Fast Boat's Game Pass, and hype up your friend to get a ride in your super fast boat. Once they get in and ride off, just spawn the boat again, and the boat your friend was in will despawn and drown them. I could try this if I had any friends. happens. A super strange way to troll your friend is to activate an infinite Do-C move. You can do this by going to the remove Blox Fruit NPC and activating Do-C move right as you click on the NPC. When the animation ends, you'll be stuck with what appears to be a massive arm. This doesn't really do much, but it looks completely glitched and will be sure to scare your friends. But what if your friend trusts you a little too much? Get them to try out this glitch. All you have to do is tell them to use any fruit and any move while jumping into the teleporter in the 3rd sea, and they will get a special surprise. They'll think that it takes them to some sort of secret location or gives them a reward, and will be so confused when it throws them off the map and into the sky. I'm not exactly sure how to help them get back safely. Looks like they'll be stuck there forever. Leopard's X move, better known as Spiraling Kick, regenerates all of your air jumps. Now just jump over your enemies during the raid, since those with knockback tend to hit at a certain angle just to throw you in the water. I don't know a single person who doesn't like finding chests, but many people still don't know about this hidden location. Head over to the 2nd sea, Kingdom of Rose Area 1 to be more precise, and then go to the bottom of the bridge. There you will notice a wall that's slightly different from the others. Just flash step inside where you will find 3 gold chests. This can also be a great hiding location. Developers thought it would be obvious, but a lot of players still don't know that Donut Roller is an amazing weapon. It's not only used for transportation. If you run over a player or an NPC, it will do quite some damage and even drag them if you angle it correctly. It's shocking how many players don't know that you don't have to go to a fruit dealer each time you want to equip a fruit you bought. Simply open up your shop, click on the permanent fruits, and equip any fruit you want. Of course, you can only equip the ones you bought, but this is still super useful to know. If you still don't have requirements to fight Ice Admiral, but for some reason you want to hang out with him, you can go into the cave on the Snow Island and use a flash step to get through the doors. You won't be able to fight him though, but he can still do damage to you. I guess he doesn't like to hang out. Did you know that the barrier in Underwater City is actually breakable? When you get there, go over to the place NPCs spawn, you know what I mean, on the side where the barrier is. It's pretty simple to get through it. You just have to run at it on an angle where the corner is, and there you go. It's not so useful though. Did you know if you go to Sky Island, you will find a house that looks like a church? But that's not it. There's a chance of a diamond chest spawning there. And if you look up, you'll see a code that gives you 1 belly. Enjoy. There's a specific blue house you can walk in located on the Sky Island. It's super easy to notice. There's nothing lootable inside, but you will find a misc that will spawn a letter on the floor. You won't be able to read this letter though, since it's only for those who are completing the quest for getting a Darkblade V2. It's good to know for the future. Combining a magma fruit with the word infinite must sound too good to be true, but it almost is. And the only requirement is to have magma fruit. Just activate magma floor while in a fight and run around your enemy, or let them get close to you if they can. It's not something that's hidden, but it's a pretty good way to prank your friends. I don't think there's an easier tactic to master any weapon. Head over to the last island in the game and get one of the NPCs to one-shot however you want. Then just pull out the weapon you want to master and finish off the NPC using it. Now you just have to repeat it a few more times and you'll have successfully mastered a weapon. That's insane. I know everyone is starting to hate the basic fruit dealer. He never has anything good in stock. The advanced fruit dealer has way better fruits, and the minimum number of fruits he can have in stock is 7, which is much more compared to the 3 that a basic fruit dealer can have. And one more thing we all hate about the basic fruit dealer is the restock time, which is 4 hours. That's one more point for the advanced fruit dealer, because his restock time is half, only 2 hours. If you have access to Mirage Island, he's definitely the better option. When most players launch the game for the first time, they start killing NPCs one by one, which is really slow. Instead, hit each of them once and lure them on yourself. Once they're all at the same spot, use splash abilities to kill them quicker. This way you will deal damage to all of them by using the ability once. Do you know about the giant Buddha sword? You heard that right. Simply transform into the Buddha and hold your sword. You shouldn't have equipped your sword while transforming to Buddha. Once you transform, you have to quickly equip your sword and undo the Buddha at the exact same moment. Now you're a little guy carrying a huge sword. It doesn't do much, but it looks really cool. The giant sword looks cool, but it's not as useful as this one. If you're still in the first sea, head over to the upper sky, but make sure you're at least level 425. Now kill both bosses and just hop on another server and repeat. You'll thank me later. For each beast you kill, you get anywhere from 50 to 250,000 $1,000. Now that loot triples when a CB storm happens. There are 3 beasts you have to kill and get a maximum of $750,000. Now there's one more trick. If you bought double money, you can get up to 1.5 million just by killing 3 CBs. I mean, it's not just 3, but you get me. This is the fastest boss raiding method in the whole game. First you have to go to prison, and it would be even better if you have double money. Start the quest with each of these 3 bosses, and use Buddha to kill them in seconds. And best of all, they won't be able to even touch you. This will get you over 70,000, and if you have double money, you'll make 140,000 each time you do this. You'll make over 4 million belly per hour. I don't think there's a better grind than this. Don't even think about getting money by killing Rip Indra if you're not a true pro. Each time you kill him, you'll get about 100,000 if you have double money, or 50k if not. But even more important is that by killing him, you'll get the Dark Blade. That's like 1200 Robux. If you go over to Kingdom of Rose, Mansion to be more precise, you'll find a diamond chest serving as a night table. If you have a double money pass, you'll be able to get over 45,000 every minute just by server hopping and looting this chest. That's over 2 million per hour. This one is definitely in the top 5. And of course, everyone's favorite one, codes. Obviously. Not only is this the favorite, but also the simplest because all you need to do is write Blox Fruits codes on Google and then you'll get a list of all the codes. Most of them are for double XP though, but that's perfect for farming. There are only 2 codes that give you money, FUDD10, which gives you a single belly, and FUDD10_V2, which gives you a whopping double of what the first code gives you, 2 whole belly. Can you imagine? These codes are literally troll codes because they give very little money, and they were made and dedicated to an admin by the name of FUD, and he was probably the one that made them. You definitely didn't know that one. This one is kinda wrong, but if it works, it works. Simply make a new account, get it to level 100, and go around and ask people for fruits. Yes, just ask players on the top of the board and chat to give you a fruit. You can end up getting tons of fruits in a short time, and save yourself a lot of money because now you don't have to buy those. But don't beg anyone. Simply ask, and if they say no, move on. There are secrets about rubber fruit most of you don't even know, and yet they can make the fruit so overpowered. In real life, rubber is a really bad electricity conductor, and so is it in Blox Fruit. So with anyone with any fighting style that uses electricity, they'll have trouble killing you. On top of that, rubber fruit makes you immune to the gun impacts. Definitely implement this into your strategy. A secret fruit not many players know about is called the meme fruit, and it literally looks like a traffic cone. The reason why you don't have it is because it's only for admins and moderators. It deals huge damage, but only to your friends. That's why it's called meme fruit. However, us ordinary mortals will never have it. Only admins and mods can abuse this one. This one is really useful for players who want to play in peace and keep all of the loot just for themselves. While launching the game, simply click on the servers and choose ascending. Here you will see a bunch of servers with 0 players, and just get into one. Now you have a whole map just for yourself. You can have a party with your friends or grind together. An ice fruit will allow you to walk on water without receiving any damage, and so will magma. But there's a way players without any fruits can walk on water and get 0 damage. Simply hold your space once you're in the water and your HP will remain full. One of the best ways to make sure you level up fast is to get hockey as soon as you can. It only costs 25,000 belly, making it quite affordable even when you're just starting out. To get hockey, you'll first need to save up the money, then head over to Snow Island and go inside this cave where you will find the ability teacher who sells it to you. Once you have hockey, it's super important to level it up as fast as possible. The smartest way to do this is actually to have weaker opponents hit you. This will increase your hockey super quickly, but you have to make sure to not let yourself get killed. It's even smarter to just always leave your hockey on, since there are no negative effects on its abilities, and you will constantly be able to work on leveling it up. A common mistake way too many players make is changing their fighting style. The reason for this is that you want to keep your stats in only 3 different categories, making sure to spread out your stat points evenly for maximum effectiveness. Just make sure not to be a gun main. A great way to get EXP fast when you're first starting out is to head over to Fountain City and attack a galley pirate using this method. Simply hit a galley pirate and then run behind a wall. You can keep punching it, but it won't be able to hit you at all. It's also smart to use a double EXP code before killing it to make this even more useful. Most of you probably didn't know that some of your favorite Blox Fruits YouTubers made their own versions of leveling up guides. That's right, you can follow the same steps your favorite YouTuber did that got them to max level. This is one of the safest options, and if you're wondering how to find these, just search up the name of the YouTuber along with the term leveling guide. Comment down below if I should make one of these. Some people still don't know that using using an auto clicker in Blox Fruits is allowed. It makes life 100 times easier, especially when it comes to farming. All you have to do is turn on the auto clicker and stand on the spawn point of the user or NPC. Feel free to keep it running overnight and you will have a nice surprise when you wake up in the morning. Tons of new players don't know this one. There are 2 fruits in the game that give you PvP advantages. Chop fruits make you immune to any sword, and that's why it's one of the best fruits for new players that are fighting bosses. And a second way to become immune is to use rubber fruit, which makes you immune to any lightning attack. You should definitely write this down. I already told you about sea beast hunting, but how do you kill them quickly? The best fruits to use for this are definitely Shark Race and Magma V2. Magma V2's abilities are too overpowered for sea beast hunting, and the Shark Race lets you swim way faster. Magma will make sure those beasts get killed, and Shark Race will let you kill them even quicker. Everybody knows that the Electric Claw is one of the most superior fighting styles in the whole game, mostly because you can use it for grinding as well as for PvP. But for this, you need to upgrade it by going to Turtle Island in the 3rd sea and starting a quest from the previous hero NPC. You'll have to get to the mansion in under 30 seconds, which is pretty hard, but simply use a portal or lightning and get over there in just seconds. However, this one's not for players that are total beginners. Most of you know about the cursed ship, but not many of you know about the trick that will help you get rich just by looting chests found in the cursed ship.
Well, actually, you can only loot the cursed ship once.
Actually, that's false. When you're done looting it, just hop on another server and voila! Now you can loot it again. When you head over to the temple located on Upper Sky Island, you'll see a tunnel at the bottom of the temple. Use any ability you want to break that stone keeping you from entering the temple, and when you get inside, you'll find 8 chests. The best thing about this is you can just hop from server to server and keep farming the money. Ka-ching! You definitely didn't know about this one. Boats in the 2nd sea are slightly faster than boats in the 1st sea, and boats in the 3rd sea are way faster than boats in the 1st and 2nd sea. This is super useful to know, but useless if you're still a noob. But still, light holds its title as the fastest way of traveling in the entire game. Did you know this? Comment down below. Did you know that you can destroy this bridge in the 2nd sea? Or rip it in half to be more precise. You'll need control fruit and its X move. Just stand on the middle of the bridge, make a control area, and levitate it into the air. And boom, you just destroyed the bridge. But people will still be able to use it, as long as they know how to jump. I wish I knew this years ago. If you go over to the bar area at the sea castle and talk to the bartender, he'll tell you about some real and some not real Blox fruits spawning at the sea. And no, he's not just talking nonsense. Real fruits do randomly spawn. Head over to the Great Tree Island and search for a real fruit. And comment down below if you've ever found a real fruit in Blox Fruits. If you take a look at this house, it looks just like any other. But this house hides a secret. It's a perfect hiding spot because you can literally walk into it. This is a great way to prank your friends, and also a great place to hide if someone's chasing you. I bet you didn't know about this one, even though it's logical when you really think about it. Some bushes in Blox Fruits will slow you down if you dash through them. I'm not sure if this is just a glitch or it's actually meant to exist. Maybe it'll get patched in a future update. Those dark blades with white hockey look way too cool. Have you ever wondered how to get one? Well, first, you obviously need a dark blade, and then head over to Graveyard, where you will be able to find a Rip Indra NPC who will change your dark blade's hockey color. How cool is that? The desert island in the 1st sea, there's a chest sitting by the pyramid. Once you loot it, you'll open a secret tunnel that leads to an NPC called Hassan. You can buy a swordsman hat from him that gives you 10% more sword damage, no matter which sword you've got equipped. The quickest way to boost your bounty would be to go to John Luke Island, a tiny hidden island located in the 1st sea. Then find an NPC called Mob Leader and kill him. Each time you kill him, your bounty raises for about 3,000. In only 1 hour, you can pump your bounty up to 180,000 because he respawns every minute. Fighting someone with observation haki is the most annoying thing. There are many fighting styles that can fight against observators, but in case you don't have any, simply get a gun and upgrade it to get an observation block. Now use it at the beginning of the fight and then spam all of your abilities without your enemy blocking them. You still don't believe that Blox Fruits is based on the One Piece anime? Here's another proof. After eating a chop fruit, you will become immune to sword attack, even the strongest and sharpest ones, which is a perfect way to prank new players. And if you played Blox Fruits when Sky Jump was infinite, it was probably your favorite ability because of how overpowered it was. As long as you had energy, you could spam Sky Jump and reach the skies. No wonder why developers realized so quickly they should nerf it. which they sadly did. The current level cap for Blox Fruits is 2450, but years ago it was only 300. Max Island in the game was the Coliseum, which is just so funny now. It was the end of the game once you reached it, and the second sea didn't even exist. Do I really have to say anything about the third sea? Luckily, developers expanded the whole game. It would be really sad if that's where the game ended. There's a myth that says if you hold a gun and then switch to a different gun, your arms will be stuck in a weird position. And that's also true, but it looks super weird. Did you know that you can use an admin command to spawn infinite fruits? Well, that's what this myth says, but I need to confirm this for myself. If this works, I'm gonna be so rich. Can you imagine? Alright, if we type in the code admin spawn fruits equals true, it should work. And nothing happened. Myth busted. Most of you probably didn't know this, but there's a myth that says you can jump with a spike ball. What? All of a sudden Blox Fruits looks like some sort of racing game. Myth confirmed. Did you know that you can equip 2 fighting styles at the same time? You simply need to have either Dark Step or Death Step with the V ability unlocked. When you activate the V ability, your legs will burn and you will deal 22% more damage. Then just go to the teacher and equip any other fighting style and boom! Now you have 2 fighting styles equipped at the same time. One of the most useless fighting tricks is placing mines into the water. I bet you didn't know that one. All you need to do is equip Bomb Fruit, walk over to the closest edge on the land, and use C ability. Now half of your mines will be planted in water. I don't really have an idea of how this could kill someone, but use it however you want. You can't do this one without a friend, so pay somebody to pretend to be your friend. You'll need to have a portal fruit and your friend will need a control fruit. They have to activate Echo Knife, and right before the last hit comes through, they must use World Warp to a random location, and the player who got hit by Echo Knife will go flying. When the screen effect stops adding more slashes, you'll know it's the last hit, and then warp to a random location. If you master this one, it will become the ultimate prank. Not many people know that Falcon's transformation lets you jump slightly higher, which lets you reach the walls that are usually too high to jump over. Still, it's a pretty useless fruit that's not worth anywhere near $300,000. Even though some of you know about server hopping, most people never use it. And believe me, there are hundreds of useful things you can do while server hopping. For example, looting chests, completing your quest faster, and even killing a boss. I know everybody hates waiting for the boss you need to kill to respawn. Some of them can even make you wait up to 45 minutes in place just to kill them, or to get killed. But just hop on another server and they will probably be there waiting for you.